Christmas corn gave you me 2 hands shaking and a pair of fidelity sleigh. No, I don't even know how to. No. I don't freaking know what to do with this shit. Okay.
In this episode, Manimal struggles to play Jingle Bells on the harmonica.
Isn't that embarrassing? I mean, Jingle Bells is like the song that everyone can play on any instrument, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, not this instrument, because we are talking about music and Christmas, but we're not talking about... We're not... Shut up. This is the 12 days of Christmas. I don't know what day it is. Maybe it's day 2, I don't know. It's all in Mr. Raccoon-like vacant. I am the man of meal, and joining me on this occasion, it is... Pikmin 2 on the Wii U.
Hey.
Hey, it's him. And we're gonna talk about 2017 in musical things. All the great songs, all the great thongs, and all of the things that belong in this episode. Or something like that. You know. It'll be it might not, well, we hope that it won't be another 4-hour episode. That's not the plan, you know, like last year. But
yeah,
things go like
it'll be longer.
Yeah, because we got what we did this year, top 10 albums of the year, and then a playlist swap that we did. So hopefully...
Yeah, and we've got a 2-hour segment devoted to, like, some of the new Taylor Swift songs, you know?
Oh, we're going to talk about Reputation, basically, for a long time. Every song will have at least 30 minutes discussion.
We've got, like, biographical lyrical analysis and...
Oh,
you know,
what you made me do. What did she mean?
I think there's, like, 12 meanings for each of those words.
So, like...
You have to, like...
Oh.
You have to go to, like, the Oxford English Dictionary and look at, like, the definitions from the Middle Ages to really learn what those lines mean.
Each time it repeats, does it mean a different thing? So every repetition, basically, like look could be like to look, or look could be to I don't, to look, a lookout, frick, whatever. Okay, so I guess we'll begin normally with...
It's like that, I think that sonnet by Terrence Hayes, that's like something like, we cut the watermelon into smiles, or we slice the watermelon into smiles, and it's just that line, like, like, what, 14 times?
Does that something deep about trying to find happiness and forcing happiness into everything or something?
Well, it does mean a different thing every time.
We cut the watermelon.
Because it's like, when you hear it like 14 times, you're like, okay, what's he mean? No, maybe he means this. No, maybe he means this. So I think that's what's going on in that Taylor Swift song.
Oh,
you know?
That's really deep, actually. You know, I've never considered that. I never knew Taylor Swift was...
Well, it's not. It's not. It's
obviously.
Not
I think that she's getting into the...
I think you're being too convincing with playing along with the joke.
I think that she's gonna be in get the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever for lyrics this year, next year, whatever.
Yeah, like Bob Dylan. You know, I'm gonna maybe say something controversial here, but I don't know if I think Bob Dylan should have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize.
It's a little bit weird because, I mean, even as great as Bob's lyrics are, like, I mean, it's a different...
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he's a good lyricist, but he's not, like, my favorite or the first I would put in there. I think he's just the most popular, you know, the person who, like, most people think of as having good lyrics.
Well, yeah,
he's like the first that comes,
because he's always like Rolling Stone always is like, oh, he's the best thing who's ever been invented. So he's like the most popular, best lyricist, like that kind of thing.
No shade if you think that, but I personally don't, you know.
No, I gotcha. I
there
think,
are other lyricists that I would probably, you know, nominate for that award if we were going for lyrics, you know.
and personally, I think Bob's input or output after 66 is pretty unremarkable anyway, even in terms of
Hmm.
lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
But, that's how it goes. I had a point that I was about to make, but I don't remember it. So let's get into the things. You're going to probably have a bit to say. So, 2017, how was it? Your musical endeavors?
Uh oh, musical endeavors. Well, at the beginning of the year, one of my bands released an album that we recorded in
Oh,
2016.
yeah.
Um, Nacien's
Oh, that
self-titled.
one. Ah, I listened to
Uh,
that one. Yeah.
and it was kind of for me, it was a stressful um, gestation process
Oh,
because I recorded it all and mixed it all and mastered it all, and also I was playing on it and also wrote two, three of the songs, and also had to write lyrics and everything. Um, and I wasn't used to having to do all that, so it was definitely a learning experience
well,
for
I guess,
me.
yeah, that's a
Now
lot to do, yeah.
now I'm currently doing that with an album with my what I view to be my main project, but for everybody else involved, it's kind of their side project. Um, but it's Dream Window. I released a song last year, but
Yeah.
I'm recording an album right now, and hopefully gonna um, you know like maybe send it to labels or something.
Right on.
Um, so yeah, but now that's I'm doing the same thing as recording and writing everything, writing all the lyrics. I'm gonna mix and maybe possibly send it off to be mastered or just master it myself, depending on the funds available. But um, yeah, so it's not nearly as stressful this time around, but it was like I was an experience last night. Also, I had to coordinate with everybody and schedule, and that was
Right.
really the worst part was trying to get everybody, you know, recorded and everything. And I couldn't control, like, I had no control over their performances. So it was like, it was, if they
Uh,
weren't feeling it, it was
yeah.
like, it's like if I was like really ready to record and really like motivated,
Mm.
like sometimes they wouldn't be, um and so we'd have to wait, and then when they were like ready I would be like kind of tired of recording and everything, so um
That's my greatest
it was
fear about a
like
band, definitely.
so it's just kind of and that band, like, now I mean I think we're gonna record um the the material we wrote after the album, but I, I think we're gonna um, I guess call it quits after that. I
Yeah.
think everybody has their own projects that they're doing.
The
Um,
farewell tour coming so soon.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna tour, but yeah, we'll probably I don't even know if we'll have a show, but that's all up in the air.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's you know it was fun while it lasted, but I'm definitely ready to do my own thing.
Of course.
So, but yeah, also two other things was that I did with a few musicians around town. We covered "OK Computer" by Radiohead for its 20th anniversary.
That's crazy.
And
Where'd you perform that?
that was just at a venue in town.
Yeah.
And it was pretty. We actually got some pretty good attendance.
Oh yeah.
Like the band, it was 9 people in the band, and we got like I think we got 1,400. We got paid 1,400.
Not
So
bad.
if we had less people, you know,
More
we
money.
probably would have gotten, yeah. But
Those are kind of
but
hard songs
yes,
to play live, aren't they?
they are. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And that was it was difficult, especially because like sometimes it's even hard to hear exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But thankfully, like one of the guitarists had some of Johnny Greenwood's gear, so we could emulate that sound
Right.
pretty easily. And there were other things like we had a lot of people who were good with gear in that room, so we could get a lot of the sounds that are on that album.
Yeah.
And I think the musicianship was pretty good too.
That's cool.
Um, so, and then also more recently, I started a uh, Brazilian cover band
What's up
where
with this? Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted it to do like a one-off thing because I was listening to a lot of Brazilian music, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, it'd be cool to cover this with a show. And I have a friend from Sao Paulo,
Uh,
Brazil, and he actually lives near a lot of the people we were covering.
oh, really?
Um, like yeah, a lot of these like big, or they aren't really big in Brazil, but a lot of these names that music nerds kind of find and go back to and revere are actually like they're like gardeners for apartment buildings
Oh,
now, and like not they're not rich at all.
no.
They're like working class, um, you know,
Huh.
like so um, that it's and actually the uh, the bassist. Well, he's a bassist, but he played guitar in this group. The guy from Sao Paulo. He's
Hmm.
gonna go to. He's back in Sao Paulo now, and he's going to. Um, he's actually going to go to a Low Borges concert and tell him about the group.
Oh,
So
really?
it'd be interesting to see what Low Borges thinks of it because he was
Well,
on. Yeah, he and Milton Nascimento did pretty much the sort of, I guess, for a lot of people, the crowning jewel of that genre, Kluba da Esquina,
yeah.
which is yet that collaboration album, which you've listened to. Um, so that was that was fun. I did it wasn't necessarily something that I meant to do more shows with, but we just
So
got asked
random.
to do
Yeah.
more gigs, and we're getting paid for it. So
Huh. And wait,
as long as
is this
we don't.
Brazilian guy singing too?
No, we actually have well, he sings a little bit, but there's a viola player from the School of Music who's Brazilian, and she
Oh,
sings. Um, and then we've got some pretty stellar musicians from the jazz program
that's really
backing
cool.
us up.
Wow.
So
Cause yeah, I think that'd be really lame if you had someone who didn't know Portuguese trying to sing all the songs. You know?
yeah, yeah, no, I didn't even attempt. I also don't even talk on the mic because I don't want to attempt to pronounce all the song names. I've learned
Gotcha.
to pronounce some of them, but not, it's
Yeah.
not, in some ways, it's a little bit more like English than Spanish is. Like there's the pronunciations of words kind of
That's right.
is a little bit more loose
Yeah.
than Spanish. Like the pronunciations of certain vowels changes and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but that makes it easier and harder because sometimes you can just pronounce it like an English speaker would, and it's sort of right. Um, but also it's like that means it's not quite as like predictable. The pronunciation is not quite as predictable as in Spanish.
Gotcha.
So, but they don't like do the long R rolls. They just do little R rolls, and
Freaking
that's
R
nice because
rolls. Oh, I
I
can't do
can't
that.
I can't do the long R rolls. Like I can't do like you
Better
know.
Calais. I can't.
So it's just like, teniendo trincado. Like it's just a little,
Just
it,
just
it'd
just
be
the
a little
little
trill.
ones. The mini ones.
So, but yeah, that was sort of my year as far as my musical endeavor. Oh, also, I made a noise album.
Oh.
So I forgot about that. I didn't post it on the forums or anything. Um, but yeah, it was made a pretty crazy noise free improvisation, electroacoustic improvisation album.
Machine
Um,
metal music, metal machine music. What's it called again?
yeah, sort of like that with drums,
Oh,
with crazy drums and other noise making instruments.
did you go
So
to the
there's some
party store
piano.
and get noisemakers?
No, 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 no. The main thing I did that was um like the main noise making thing was I took a small like PV mixer and I plugged some of the outputs into the inputs, so
Oh,
that it would feed back, and if you turn the knobs, it like changes the pitch and everything, the tone.
yeah.
Um, and but if you plug like a guitar or bass on it, it can make some like nasty like fuzz bit
Oh, right on.
crusher nasty stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's mainly I did that. I also I had a delay pedal that I made a feedback loop with, and it has two outputs. So I made the feedback loop and then put the other output into the mixer with the feedback loops in that. Um, and so made some crazy sounds with that.
That's wild. Yeah.
So
You did something for February album writing month too, right?
oh yeah, I forgot about that too. That was, yeah, just something I was like putting together. I wanted to try my hand at using some synths. Um, and I guess I didn't really put like too much effort into it. Like I put enough effort into it that I could find a cool idea, but I didn't really put much thought into developing those ideas.
Yeah.
So it was sort of just first thought, best thought. So some of the timing is not right, and it just feels like maybe like there's not enough ideas in there.
Hmm.
But that was something I did just to experiment with using synths. Um, I think I've discovered that I like the the I guess compositional prowess that a lot of people with synths have
Oh yeah.
rather than the synth. I do like the synths themselves, but it's like not as much as like guitar
Hmm.
or an orchestra or something like that. Um, I tend to still like those instruments for its inherent qualities. But I do like drum machines though. That
Yeah.
I am of those. Like particularly the like early Roland drum machines that came with the organ, like on that Suicide album.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They sound wicked on that. Yeah.
yeah, I really like that those like soft sounding drum machines.
Is that what
So
Prince used on like Dirty Mind and stuff? Or
no, I think Prince used a Lin drum machine.
ah, okay.
So that's like the Lin LM1 or something like that.
Yeah.
There are several. That Lin drum machine and the TR 808, the 606 and the 707 are the later Roland drum machines are all
What
using
about
that.
Big Black?
Big Black. I'd imagine that Big Black used either the Lin or the TR 707.
Yeah, because that sounds cool too.
Yeah. Um, there's a lot of like um yeah, there are a lot of people who use the 606, I think, is probably the most common. The 808 is now popular again because of trap music. It's
Oh
always been
God.
popular, but it's the like it's like pretty much nowadays it's people's go-to drum machine
Yeah.
for anything really. Um, so yeah, that's a thing. And then like the 909 was like 90s house.
Oh, okay. Like the kind
Yeah,
of, yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, how was
Hey.
your year?
Yes, so I made 8 albums this year. My fancy one man band slamming shit around in my basement, which I am sitting in. You know, uh, just doing what I do, going along with things. Didn't do anything exciting. I've been in the same place I've always been in. Uh, I broke one of my laptops when I was playing drums one time, and that's about it for exciting things. Because I'm still using the same mics I did last year, and
My my keyboard and mouse, like my keyboard and trackpad on my laptop stopped working, so now I use an
oh
external keyboard and mouse, and everybody looks at me weird
yeah,
when I use it because it's like you have a
it's right there.
yeah, it's like, are you stupid? Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but that was fun. But no, again, I'm just doing what I do. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be able to top this year in terms of production because I was like freaking shitting stuff out pretty fast, especially
yeah,
in like for FOM. Well, like the FOM stuff was pretty shitty what I did, but like the 5090, that was like when I became a production machine, like the freaking Barry Goldman churning shit out, you know.
yeah, I couldn't keep up. I didn't listen to half of it.
Yeah, because I just kept going. Like, okay, here we go. Write something down, record it. I print out tab sheets, and I just write like some riffs down really quickly, and I just kind of improvise the rest of things. I like to do things fast like this because it I don't know, it just keeps me going, and I get better with it. Like certainly I've like my the first album I made this year, Flat as Manitoba. Like I'm so much better than that already, you know. And
Yeah,
it's just from doing stuff a lot. And of course finding new ground to do things. Like I finally made a song that had a composition and it didn't turn out perfectly, but it was a step forward. So I think with stuff like this
yeah,
you
I
just
definitely thought
hmm?
that your last album was your best stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I decided to, be a little less silly and just be a little more serious sometimes, you know. And there were no songs about K-On! On my latest album.
That's progress.
Although there's Daya's Pain in Spain, which obviously is Daya from Love Live, but not
Yeah,
there's no Love Live references on it though, so that's one thing.
nice.
But I think again, it's just a lot of fun to just slam shit around. I mean, like my drums are being destroyed, like my snare skin ripped off, my freaking my hi hat. There's no smooth edge on my hi hat anymore. It's freaking gone. The pieces just fall
Yeah.
off of it the more I hit it. I'm just a freaking savage on this thing. But that's what I do. I'm like, okay, I don't got good stuff, but I still have the will to make things, you know? And
Mhm.
that's just what I go on. I got a Squire Mustang this year.
Nice.
Red like Azu says. But I also got it cuz I like Cobain's guitar tone. I like the
Yeah.
sounds that he got with
The
it. So
single coils through fuzz. Do you have a
oh,
fuzz pedal?
I have a super overdrive and a tube Ibanez tube screamer.
Yeah, to get that like grunge tone, I would recommend like a bass big muff,
Oh
and
hell
you
yeah, that'd
put
be
it on,
awesome.
and then you put it on like the bass boost setting, and
Uh,
you still have it like a really like the bridge pickup tone, and so that can get you some um, Kurt Cobain like tones.
oh yeah, that'd be wicked. Yeah, cause I think cause again I got a Jazz Master last year, and that is just endless problems with that frickin'. You don't play a Jazz Master, you conquer a Jazz Master. That's how you have to play that shit, cause it has
Yeah,
so many problems, but it sounds so amazing, you know.
yeah. It
And
also is a good looking guitar.
oh, it looks amazing. I freaking love the way it looks. I love the whammy because it never goes out of tune, no matter how intense I go
Yeah.
with the whammy. It's like everything about when you just look at it, it's so great. But when you play it, you can't solo on the
Most
Jazz Master. It just
most people who play Jazz Master like and go on tour and stuff and use it in their professional work, they replace the bridge with
Oh yeah,
a mastery bridge.
those are really expensive.
They are. Yeah, that they'll replace some of the parts.
You have to,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, with some nicer ones.
Because I got a Mustang bridge on mine, and it doesn't work well. But the Mustang, it has a similar bridge, but it works a lot better. It doesn't have all the
Yeah,
same problems. So I was worried about that, but it's fine. I mean, again, the whammy is terrible. You use it a little bit, and it's you can't even use it.
yeah,
I don't even. I just took it off. It's useless.
yeah,
Although you can push on the back to make it go wow 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 and stuff like that.
yeah,
It works. And yeah,
yeah.
it's just like a strat whammy. You know, you don't actually use a strat whammy.
I don't know. I do.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you can't
it's
go too hard with it.
no, but if you can, it's like a little does a lot. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? Like a
I
little like
broke mine off, so I don't know. But
I had a whammy bar for my Godin, but I ended like I lost it and couldn't find it.
oh
Um, so no, actually, what happened was I broke it off and then I couldn't. No, no, no. Okay, I lost the actual whammy bar that came with it. I
yeah.
got a Strat whammy bar, and the
Oh.
Strat whammy bar didn't fit. It was too loose, and I tried to pull it out, and then I broke off a piece, and it was stuck in there for a
Yeah,
while until
that's
I
the
got
exact same
through.
thing that's with my strat right now. There's a little piece of whammy that you can't just knock it out. You can't take it out from the back or anything.
Yeah,
You really got to get in there. So
yeah.
I don't really use my
I
strat that
eventually,
often anyway. I don't really. It's a
yeah.
my the telly. Oh, I love my telly so much.
hmm
It's all reliable. This cheap $200 guitar. It's so good. I freaking love this guitar. It
I've
does
started
everything.
using. My brother got a Strat, and so I've been using his for a lot of stuff because it's like the tone that I sort of want is the humbucker tone, but like
Yeah.
if you need to add like some dimension to that with another guitar part, if like the Strat works really well.
Oh, because
Some like a lot
the
of times,
strats settings are really good because there's a lot you can do. Yeah.
yeah. Like I always end up with like the humbucker guitars end up I always end up having to brighten it from where I feel the tone should be
Yeah.
because in a mix it just works better that way. I just don't, you know, I always like hear it thinking, "Hey, this should be dark." And then in the mix it ends up working better brighter. Sometimes a Strat does that really well with, and you don't have to change the mix at all.
Yeah, because the strat, like the selector thing, is really good. Where on a telly, I only ever use the normal, most trebly one out of the three. I don't ever
Yeah.
use the other two.
Yeah, no, nobody I know really uses the neck pickup on a telly.
Nah, it's not good.
It's always bridge pickup. So, except unless they're playing jazz and have to use a dark tone
Oh, I guess
sometimes,
so. Yeah.
like, and they want to have that brightness that you can do with the bridge pickup, but also want to switch back. Um, then people will use the bridge pickup, but it's really the neck pickup, but it's really just there as a an option that you use if you have to.
Oh yeah. But I love the telly because it's the ultimate rhythm machine. It just does everything you need it to do. It has I love the freaking the fretboard. Um, I'm forgetting terms of the guitar, but the wood or whatever it's the imitation wood, cheap wood. I don't know, whatever. It's amazing.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
so
don't know.
smooth.
Yeah.
I love that guitar. But yeah, it's fun making music. I do it. It's fun. I have a good time. I make a lot of albums because that's just what I do. Although I took my time with my last one and it was a good result, so that's probably what I should do with other stuff. But I just go at
Mhm.
whatever pace I feel like going. I just wish I could use my 12 string more, but that does not record good at all. You know,
Yeah.
it just sounds bad.
Imagine imagine like a lot of other bands taking 2 or 3 years on an album.
Yeah, I couldn't 2 or 3 years. That means I'm 2 or 3 years older, you know. That's just what I'm thinking when I
Yeah.
make albums. I'm like, I gotta keep going. I can't. If I just made one album this year, that drive me crazy, because I'm gonna get old.
Yeah.
Because I think with something like this, because I'm not in a band or anything, I have to just keep making stuff, and I have to just not stop making stuff because that's all I can do. If I focus too
Yeah.
much on like certain songs, it won't do me any good. So that way, if I ever do make a band, then I already could be like, "Hey guys, we got like freaking 150 songs to do something with here," you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they might not want to play Nico as a skate punk or Johan's Gothic Dawn, but maybe there's other stuff. you know,
You grad.
they don't want to play Yui Grad and Kalamugi and stuff like that. They don't want to play from my Weeb concept album. It was I tried to make 3 concept albums this year, and only 2 of one of them turned out okay with Magnus Bridge, because that was fun. You did a really cool keyboard and stuff piece on one, and oh, sorry, that was Pipe Man. That was Pipe Man. I'm sorry. And it was really fun to collab with Lego. That was amazing when we did our first collab. And well, yeah, number 2 in a top 10 list, because I was like, there's someone's voice beside mine. And
Yeah.
I love Lego, man. And like he does his stuff. He doesn't even really know how to play guitar, but he still makes like good tunes and everything. It's really cool, And it's really fun to collab because Conquistor on the dance floor was like, that was fun.
Yeah.
Indeed. But yeah, that's me. Everything's been the same as it has before. It's just better. I in the beginning of the month was when even in last year, when I discovered the magic of slamming your guitar against an amp, and now I don't do that anymore because I inflicted too much damage.
Yeah.
So I don't do that these days. Although I have a designated guitar if I ever need to destroy stuff. I have a designated noise destruction guitar, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I have to say. And that's what you had to say. It's been a crazy year of music and stuff like that. So I think that we should just right away get into it. We'll talk about hits and stuff later, but right now, how about we do top 10 albums of the year? Bam. So,
Okay.
I mean, we could talk generally first. I would say 2017 has been a great year for releases for me. There's a lot of really good albums. I listened to a lot of albums this year, way more than I ever have. A lot of artists like Kendrick and stuff like that who I didn't listen to previously. I listened to like their new stuff first and stuff like that. There's just so much I listened to, but only a few that were truly great. So what would you say in general?
Um, for me, it was sort of like a transitional year, so to speak. Like last year had so many big name artists making, some of their best work.
Yeah.
But this year it was like not a ton of big name artists released albums, and the ones that did release albums, they like some of them were good. Like I liked, Fleet Fox's new album and Kendrick Lamar's new album and Gas's new album and some of the others, but like I think my favorite releases from the year were actually some from artists who were making their debut or their second album.
Oh yeah.
There were a lot of those that that were really good. And so I felt like this year was maybe a transitional year
That makes sense.
because it was like some new up and coming names. Now, to be fair, I sort of fell off. Like I checked out a whole lot of releases towards the beginning of the year, and I kind of stopped about halfway through.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that I missed.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to, so my top 10 is not final at all. Even though I
Yeah.
did check out a lot of albums at the beginning there's a lot that I missed at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
that's how it goes. But yeah, I guess. Well, should we do honorable mentions first or last?
I suppose first.
Yeah. First, I think Sun Kill Moon's newest album, was pretty interesting. It's long as shit. Was it 2 hours long of Mark rambling endlessly about every single thing that he thought in 2016. But it's an album that I've only listened to it once, but I think about it a lot. I'm like, that was an interesting album. You know, it was kind
Yeah.
of an experience. And oh god, what else? Charisma.com are like a J-pop rap duo. They're both office ladies who happen to do rap music, and that's really
Hmm.
fun. They had a fun album. Same with E-Ticket Production is a bunch of like kind of alt idol girls that came together and made a rap album, which was also really fun. And again, so many albums, but only so many. Lee Ronaldo's new album was pretty decent, actually. A lot better than Thurston's new album. You
I
know?
didn't hear either. I've not really been too like the best thing I have heard since the dissolution of Sonic Youth that any of them have done. Um, aside from like Steve Shelley with Sun Kill Moon, but he
Ah,
didn't really
yeah.
do that much
He's
on that
just
album.
drumming. Yeah.
Yeah. But um, like a lot of I think the best thing I've heard any of the Sonic Youthers do since the dissolution of Sonic Youth is Murdered Out by Kim
Oh,
Gordon.
absolutely. That was the best. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
really cool.
it's a big, very cool, like big black thing going on.
Oh yeah, that was neat. But because yeah, Thurston stuff, it's like he had like the bassist from My Bloody Valentine on that album, and
Yeah, he's had some really good musicians with his solo stuff, but it doesn't feel any different than.
Thurston got in the same kind of groove even at the end of Sonic Youth, where all his stuff was just kind of
Yeah, it just sounds like
okay.
later Sonic Youth, maybe a little bit more jammy, but it's not
Yeah.
anything. It's not like it's not consistent with the heights of, you know, his creativity.
Oh yeah. And
So,
George Harrison's son Danny released an album. Was it called In Parallel? It was not amazing, but it was kind of cool in a way. There are a lot of like drony elements and stuff going on in it. It was neat, but not great necessarily. There's also Courtney Barnett and Kurt Vile. This isn't an honorable mention. They released a really boring album called "Lot of Sea Lice." Oh,
yeah,
that
I
was
heard
so
a
boring.
song on it and I was not a fan.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, I liked Courtney Barnett's last album, but they're just the same kind of deadpan singers, and then when they're both singing on these uninspired
yeah,
tracks, it's like, okay, I can go to sleep to this.
it was not great.
No.
So it was, yeah, I heard something on the radio and I was just like, this
Oh.
is kind of bad.
And one thing that was big with my friends, at least, was Pink Guy's Pink Season, which it was an amusing joke album, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised how popular it got. You know, because there is some funny stuff on it, but it's like an hour long. I listened to it. I was like, okay, I don't need to listen to this ever again. But that was kind of funny. And
Yeah.
oh, of course, there was a celebrity death of Katy Perry's career this year. That was kind of that was hard for me, because Katy, she's gone to shit even before this year. Like like last year, like was when she became disgusting and embarrassing, you know. Whereas
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? And then this year, Witness, it was Katy, no, no it's all over. It's all over.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, that was and then Nana Katade came back for the first time since 2009 with such a boring album, Violet Cry. I was like, oh, Nana's back, awesome, she's gonna make another freaking noise album and it's gonna be great. No, it's just like this boring pop album that really did nothing at all. I was like, wow, that's something. And frick, there's just so many that I listened to. What else was even worth mentioning? Not a lot. I thought Beach Fossil's new album was good at first, but then and then there's like a few weeks or a month maybe where I was like, okay, indie music's kind of cool, and then I was like, wait, no, it's not. you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, it's not the genre itself. I think
I
it's
meant
just,
modern day indie sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like how nostalgic a lot of the bands are.
Oh. Well, and a
Um,
lot of them just sound the same. They do all the same. They have the same attitude and same vocal style and everything, you know?
yeah, yeah, and it's just I guess there's not a lot of
Inspiration.
new stuff going on. I feel
Yeah.
like it's it's sort of like it's almost like uh it should work out that it's kind of like punk, like a return to basics so that it
Gotcha,
can be
yeah.
expanded upon.
But it's
But
not.
I don't know. It's not really caught on like punk, so
No.
that can't really happen. Also, you know, I tend to feel like we have a lot of terms for rock music that sort of are like, okay, now you can't really be called anything new because those terms exist, like post
Gotcha.
rock and
Oh
experimental
god.
rock. Like,
Terrible
I just,
terms, yeah.
yeah, and it's like I like a lot of the music that those terms encompass, but I feel like, yeah, experimental rock is like, okay, this is something that's very ahead of its time, doesn't really have a scene
Yeah.
for it, and so that that's like okay, that's like a release that sort of pushes um pushes like rock music forward, I guess. And
Okay.
so I'm okay with that term, I guess, just as long as it's supplemented by others to more accurately describe the album. But
Yeah.
like post rock is like somebody does something interesting with rock music and it's sort of filed under post rock and then associated
I
with
hate
like
that term.
a lot of unoriginal bands. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to rag too much on Explosions in the Sky, but they're sort of emblematic of, the crescendo core movement that's
Oh,
sort of like post rock settling into a sound
gotcha.
that everybody associates with it, even though
Mm-hmm.
like there's so many really unique, particularly in the 90s, so many really unique records that were released and called post rock. Like those later Talk records.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they're called people call them post rock, but that really doesn't do them much justice.
Freaking
So,
genre titles. But yeah, also really quick, there was Nelly Furtado's new album, The Ride, had some
oh yeah,
interesting
how that.
production elements, but the tunes weren't necessarily that interesting, you know?
Yeah, John Congleton is a cool producer, but like I wasn't I liked the production on the tracks I heard, but just not the actual songs.
Yeah, the songs were just kind of whatever. They were just pretty bland. And The Pains of Being Pure at Heart released an album, The Echo of Pleasure. It was whatever. Japanese Breathix had a new album, Soft Sounds from a Distant Planet. That was boring. And
Hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that. So what do you got for honorable mentions?
All right, so you like I'm gonna mention this sort of as a notable mention,
Gotcha.
less so as an honorable mention because like I liked Kichigayo when I first heard it, and then it grew on me,
Uh,
and then it grew off of me.
yeah.
I think it's not aged as well as I had hoped it would.
It's not as good as Tokyo
I
Black Hole.
No, it's not. I feel that it's maybe a little bit cobbled together.
Mm.
Um, she releases stuff so fast. I sometimes wish that she like slowed down and maybe collected uh more tracks before releasing a full length. So, which I guess she's sort of doing now. Even though she released two new tracks this year, but she didn't well, no, that's not true because she released Kichigaya this year.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that one is kind of like I don't know. I like certain songs on it. I like that one ballad. Um, I
Uh,
always go back to that
Orion.
ballad. Yeah, Orion,
Yeah.
and also oddly enough, Idol song is
Yeah, Idol
one of the
song.
best.
I
Um,
again, yeah, I like the album. I'll mention it later, but it's Tokyo Black Hole is such a better release, really.
yeah. Um, so, but onto like the actual honorable mentions. One of them is Kiko Dinucci, Cortez Curtos by Kiko Dinucci.
Pico de
Wow.
Noche.
Yeah, he's a Brazilian guitarist.
Uh,
He is from a band called Meta Meta, and they're sort of one of the I guess one of the most popular bands in the vanguard of Paulista scene, which is like the experimental rock scene in Brazil. And so this album is like noise rock, art punk. You know, there's some more Brazilian flavored stuff, and there some like kind of avant proggy math rock stuff going on. So it's a pretty cool album, and lots of like gritty guitar tones too.
yeah.
Um, and then another is Hand in Hand by Felicia Atkinson, which is a an electroacoustic ambient spoken word album. And there's a lot of kind of cool stuff going on there. It's pretty accessible for electroacoustic music, and you know, it's like it's a tad bit uh, pretentious. You know,
Mm.
like there's some press release that's kind of it you know feels sometimes a little bit like a parody, but it's there's some really cool stuff going on musically.
Yeah.
Um, and then Sleep Well Beast by The National. I did not expect to like the National album in 2017. Um, but I think they added a lot of new dimensions to their sound. You know, they most of the time they dabble in like sort of mellower post-punk revival indie rock kind of stuff. But on this album, they have a lot of electronic elements, like some electroacoustic elements. Um, and also there's like one like bluesy garage rock track, which is so weird for them. And it's my least favorite track on the album, but it's really nice to see them do some different stuff because um, I think they just uh, like I don't know, they had gotten sort of boring to me. Um, so, and then there's Kelly Lee Owens' self-titled record, which is a really cool like minimal techno ambient pop kind of thing going on. There's it's very if you listen to Grouper, it's kind of like Grouper if you mix that with Kid A.
Oh.
Um, so like really reverby vocals, like very ambient atmosphere with a lot of like minimal keyboards and like minimal drum machines, often just like a pulsing bass drum and nothing else.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then last honorable mention would be Planetarium by Sufjan Stevens, Bryce Desner, Nico Muley, and James McAllister. So
That's a lot of
that's
people.
it is. It's like a huge I mean it's a really long album. It's 76 minutes long. Um it's got 17 tracks, each dedicated to a planet or some sort of astronomical
Oh.
um, anomaly or phenomenon.
Okay, I have a burning
And
question. Is there a
yes,
song for Pluto?
there is.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, and it's not there's one for Earth and it's like 15 minutes long.
Oh, has to
Um,
be.
but there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. It's an interesting list of collaborators because you know, Sufjan Stevens is sort of a singer songwriter. He's very much like he's very eclectic and sort of paved his own way. So he's not just like his last album where it was just him was it was a like an acoustic singer-songwriter album, but a lot of his stuff like gone into glitch, and he's gone into like lots of different genres like marching bands stuff and
Classic marching band genre.
Minimalism, he's done a lot of stuff. And Bryce Dessner is the guitarist of The National, who I mentioned earlier. Nico Muhly is a composer who does a lot of string arrangements for indie rock bands. And I've never heard of James McAllister, but he's an electronic artist, it looks like. So that's a cool album. It's very, very ambitious. It's a little too long, but there are a whole lot of really good ideas in it. I do also want to mention, I didn't think that I would ever find myself saying this, but I actually enjoyed the new Jaden Smith album, Sire.
He made an album this year?
Yeah, he made an album this year, and it was...
Oh shit, you posted it on the forum, but then you never said what you thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So there's some very cool production on it. And he's actually got as far as his flow goes, he's a pretty good rapper. As far as his lyrics
his
go,
dad?
Yeah. Well, his dad, he's got a better flow than his dad, I think. But
what? Better than Will Ennium?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
shit.
his lyrics aren't great, which was like a lot of people gave him negative reviews because of his lyrics. But honestly, and also because the album was really long.
Oh.
Just way too long. Some of the songs are too long. Some of the ways that some of them, it goes from some of the most interesting ideas too quickly and then dwells on some of the less interesting
it
ones.
is better than Corey Feldman's album from last
year.
year.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually like a good listen, particularly the opening 4 tracks, which are like a suite. Those are really good, and there's some really cool production on there. So I would definitely check that album out as far as some cool rap released this year. So that's it for my honorable mentions.
All right, then here we go. The top 10 albums of the year. My 10 spot is reserved for Dalco because she's not releasing an album until like the day before Christmas Eve this year. So I'm not gonna probably listen to it till next year because that's another album that I ordered from CD Japan, and I'll wait till it comes.
Yeah.
In. But anyways, for now, I'll put an album I listened to yesterday, but I thought was cool, is Vince Staples' Big Fish Theory. I thought It was a pretty cool album, actually. There's a lot of neat production elements, a lot of cool tricks. Right away, when the first vocal comes in unexpected, and then it busts into that cool-ass beat going on there, I was like, oh, this is really neat. And then obviously, yeah, the song with Kendrick. Like, when it transitions, and then it just stops, and then Kendrick comes in, it's like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
That was cool. But in general, I thought it was actually cool. I liked his flow on the tracks. I liked pretty much everything except for like a couple of the more repetitive songs like 745 and Big Fish and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wasn't as crazy about 745. But I did like that album a lot. It didn't make my list, but I liked a lot of the production. Yeah, Right's a great track.
Oh yeah. Because I didn't really have a great album to put for number 10, so it's just a go-to one.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah. So then, what do you got?
For my number 10.
Indeed.
I guess I'm gonna have to say Neo Wax Bloom by Igloo Ghost, which is some crazy, wonky, hectic, chaotic electronic music.
Yeah, it was hard because on your playlist you had a bunch of these wonk songs together, and I was like, I don't know what is what right now.
There was one from Neo X Bloom on there, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
And I think it started out the second playlist
It did.
actually.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty
Um,
interesting.
yeah, and I use that because the Vince Staple album takes a lot from Wonky. But I use that to transition. Anyway, yeah, that's a pretty cool album. It's very strange. Uh, there's like a lot of like high pitched voices on it, like
Oh,
pitched down voices. Um, there's like an entire mythology connected with it. So it has something to do with a worm who always frowns going
what?
through portals and some like little witches who do this spell with this lantern or something like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's neat.
All right, so number 9.
Okay, number 9 will be. Well, I know that you aren't as warm to Kesha as I am, but I was really surprised. Okay, so Kesha is an artist that at the time I didn't like, but retrospectively I came back and was like, I like Kesha. Because even though her music was just the kind of like typical thing of the time with the kind of trashy party thing, it's like she always seemed like a likable person who just put on a persona for her stuff. And I
Hmm.
was like, that was fun. Those are fun times. So she came back with her first release in a while, Rainbow, and this time she dropped the $sign from her name and just made songs that were good. She just made
Hmm.
good stuff, sang normally, and they're still fun to her character and everything. There's still like fun tracks and like just weird lyrics and everything. That it's a
Yeah.
fun album. It's not every song's great, but I enjoyed it and I was surprised. I was like, "Damn, Kesha, you did it. You came back. You made it. You made an
Yeah.
album."
I heard Praying, which I thought had some cool moments going on. I didn't feel like the song itself was all of that.
Yeah, that wasn't one of my favorites. I mean, it was a good track to
Yeah.
come back with because it's like a vocal kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
Kesha can sing kind of
Yeah.
song, you know. But I like the album. I thought it was kind of neat. I was happy that Kesha could finally be herself instead of the character for once.
Hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That's my number 9.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 9 is probably okay, Kendrick Lamar's new album,
There it
Damn.
is.
And it is cool. I mean, a lot has been said about this album this year, so it's kind of hard to think of like
Probably the
something
most
good to
discussed
say.
album of the year.
Yeah, it can be played forwards and backwards, spoiler alert. Um, and it's got, a lot of really cool beats and verses from Kendrick. He doesn't actually have a whole lot of guest verses on here.
But
Um,
every guest he does have is really good.
yeah, he had way more guests on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Hmm.
I will say of since Good Kid, Mad City, this one is probably my least favorite of it. I still like it quite a bit, but I don't connect with it on the level of To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Um, I those albums I just like so much. Um, you know, I wish I had as much hype for this album as other people, but um, it's just gonna have to be number 9.
I mean, I'll talk about that later, but there it is. Okay, number 8 is Lights, Skin and Earth. So, like, you've never heard of Lights, right? Or
No.
yeah, no one knows Lights. She's basically like, I'm pretty sure that only Canadians know Lights. She's from like a small Ontario city, and she made a lot of
Yeah.
stuff in like the 2010s that was pretty popular over here. A lot of like a lot of synth pop kind of stuff.
You say the
And
2010s like it's over.
you know what I when I say 2010s, what I really mean is 2009 to like 2012. It's so specific.
Early 2010s, yeah.
Early
Early this
2010s is
early
what
this decade.
that's what I should have said. Yeah, I feels like it's been so long since 2010, man. I don't know. But Lights, she's pretty cool, and it's like a pretty straightforward pop album. But the cool thing is that she made a comic series to go with it. That she's doing everything in the comic herself too, you know.
Nice.
And she's learning to make comics as she's making a comic, and it's actually kind of a cool story. So the album, every song is tied into the comic, where like every track is a chapter, basically, kind of thing, and
Mhm.
it works really well as a concept album and every track by itself. It's just good pop music. It was a really good album. I liked it. I was
Nice.
like, damn, Lights, you freaking representing. Hell yeah,
Canada.
yeah, hell yeah. We got
Honestly,
good pop
I think
artists too.
Barry Goldman is probably the best representation of Canada. As far as
Yeah,
it's several mentions of Tim Hortons and Zellers.
hell yeah, man. I do my best. You know, I gotta be aggressively Canadian. That's what I try to do. No, passively, or
Passively aggressively Canadian.
Canadians have their own way of patriotism that's different than Americans, and it has to come through somehow. Because you know, Americans, you think of the blues and stuff. They always sing about like I don't know, Memphis and stuff like that, right? They always like, I'm going down to
Well, in country music,
oh, country music. Yeah.
good old USA. That kind
Although
of stuff.
someone made a country song about my city that they play on the radio here, and it
Yeah.
is so weird because it's like a normal country song, but it's about my
Mhm.
city, and I'm like, why have you done this? But yes, it's the way it goes. Lights is good. I like Lights. It was a fun album. There you go. Number 8. What do you got?
uh, I think I'm gonna go with Crack Up by Fleet Foxes.
Yeah.
This was an album where they tr tried a lot of new things. I've been a fan of Fleet Foxes for a while. I really liked um, their first two albums, which were their last two as well. Um, this album, they do a lot of stuff differently. They have a lot of like different. They make they don't stick to the folk thing as stringently, and they experiment a lot more. They have some longer songs. The lyrics are a lot more dense, um, and it's a very interesting album. Um, I think some of the production choices maybe hurt it for me. Like it was my album of the year at one point, but it just kind of fell from that spot because um, I think some you know, Phil Eck, I guess, is for me a very hit and miss engineer and producer. I think there's some stuff he does, like some of his albums that he's done, like the previous Fleet Foxes albums, that are very good. But I think this one, they were doing so many different things that I think it was maybe a challenge to unify it all. And I don't think they quite ended up completely doing that. Um, there are, however, some really cool moments on it. I really like the song Mayark Stoppa. Third of May is a great song. Kept Woman. There's a lot of like really neat stuff.
Oh yeah. I've never listened to them, but cool. Well, there was one track on your playlist, but I don't remember it to
Yes.
be honest. So yeah, there it is. Okay, number 7 from me is SZA, which that's how you say it, SZA. I literally just Googled it. I was like, how do you say SZA? And it's SZA.
SZA. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like the Wu-Tang Clan. Like you had Giza
Oh,
and Riza.
I don't
So
know. Yeah.
or RZA, I guess. RZA and Giza.
Oh, there it is. See,
So
but yeah. Yeah, SZA with Control. This is one of those albums that I guess they call like alt R&B or
yeah.
well or like some neo soul or I don't know whatever you call it. It was a cool album. There's some tracks that are a little hit and miss. A lot like more tracks with like rap beats and stuff. There was some songs that were, there was a song with Kendrick which was pretty decent because this is the Top Dog album actually, which is kind of neat. But there's a lot of stuff that I really liked on this album, like Prom and Garden and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool. I think it's her first album too, first major
I
album.
you know I really want to like check it out. Um, but I have to say the stuff I have checked out is good, but I don't know, it doesn't really strike me in a particular way, or I don't really connect with it.
It's not gonna blow your
Um,
mind.
yeah, I think that like it's hard to beat. Um, like as far as the stuff that's labeled as all R&B and neo soul and whatnot. Um, A Seat at the Table, the Solange album from last year, is kind of hard to beat.
Well, yeah,
Um,
this isn't like some big creative venture. This album,
yeah.
it's not trying to push anything, but it has a lot of sounds that I really like, and
Hmm.
I was like,
I
that
did
was a
hear
cool album.
the dreamy dream pop sounds and thought, yeah, I know why he likes this.
Yeah, honestly, prom sounds to me like something that they would play at like a Kohl's over like the
Hmm.
intercom, and I like that because I like that sound because it reminds me of that, and it makes me feel warm inside. So, that's how it goes. But that's what I got. What do you got for number 7?
I've got um, iMusic by Kyo, and this is an ambient album. It's got some electroacoustic elements. It is it's hard to like really one of the things that I think makes this album really successful is that it's got drums on parts, and that's actually a really cool addition. It's got guitars, um, it's just got a lot of different, but it's also got like some progressive electronic elements. It's just a really neat album, I think, and it's very, accessible ambient album. Like if you're not into ambient, if you think it's boring, like this is an album that has a lot more going on, and so it's you know it's a lot more of a you can focus on a little bit more. It's not just music to put in the background, you know.
Oh yeah,
So, but yeah, that's my number
that's it.
seven.
Okay, number 6 for me. I had a dream a while back with her in it, where weird things happen. We went to the comic store and stuff like that. This is Saint Vincent with Mass Adduction. This came out like in November, I think,
Hmm.
and it was a cool album. It's her self-titled album's better, but I thought this one was pretty neat. There's a lot of stuff I like on here. There's maybe not a ton of new stuff compared to her last release, but there are a lot of cool songs like Savior and Sugar Boy and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I like her style and her
I,
vocals and
I
everything.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've heard a note from her new album. I did
No?
hear the last one though. The last one
Uh,
was cool. I felt it was a bit dry, but
yeah.
there's a lot of cool stuff going. I liked is it Prince Johnny?
Yeah,
That track's really
I
cool.
think. But yeah, no, I like this album. I thought it was pretty decent. It has like one of those cuz like the cover is basically just like her butt, you know?
Yeah.
And then but the CD is just like her face kind of thing. So the CD cover is like blank. It's just like the booklet and then the CD
Hmm.
faces backwards. So it's one of those weird packaging. And then the record just comes in like a sleeve. It's
Mm,
one of those fancy things. But yeah, it's a good album. I like it. It's fun.
nice.
There, what you got?
For number six, I've got Process by Sampha.
I listened to
Um,
that one. Yeah,
and I really like I don't know, I really liked this one pretty instantly
it's a cool
because
album.
yeah, it's like it's there's a lot of cool production stuff. You can tell he's a really good musician
Yeah.
with the stuff he writes and all of the textures. It reminded me sort of, for some reason, and maybe this is just because of the album cover, it reminded me of there's a like an arty chamber folk R&B kind of artist. I forgot her
Oh,
name.
I don't know.
Laura something. Um, but she does a whole lot of like intricate arrangements, and that's sort of his arrangements are a lot more electronic, but there's a lot of like, intricate stuff going on that I really liked. I really liked, you know, I guess I kind of like grief albums a little bit, just
That's kind of what it was. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean it's him, you know, I guess recovering from grief over the death of his mother from cancer.
Yeah.
Um, and it's I don't know, I really like this album. I
It's
think
good. Yeah.
it's a debut album and it's something that feels really new and fresh. And
Oh yeah.
that's what I really like that. That's what I wanted to hear this year,
Gotcha. Yeah, I
So
listened to that album yesterday, so again, it's fresh in my head. But I did like it. There was a lot of cool stuff going on with it. His vocals are really good. A lot of good tracks on that one, for sure. So, number 5 is where I put Psycho Mori's Kichigaya. So, okay, so the thing with Psycho is I'm kind of psycho for Psycho, you know? Because there's just something about Psycho that I just love so much, because I like idols and I really like alt idols, and Psycho Mori is like the most ultimate alt idol, you know,
mhm.
basically. So
Yeah.
when this album came out, I was just like, oh freaking yes, and I still think it's pretty good, but yeah, the thing is that it's just like I don't want to listen to it as much as Tokyo Black Hole kind of stuff. Even though I do
Yeah.
think it was still like a really big album. There's a lot of shit I love in it, like Dogma, Magma, the song with Dalco, and everything like that. Where it was just, it's kind of like a big sound comparatively. She's doing something bigger, and yeah, again, I like the album, fine, but I do think that it kind of loses a bit of momentum by the end. You know?
Yeah. It's I think like I guess the first three. I like that the one with the harp in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a
That
cool
was
one,
cool.
but
Yeah.
um but yeah, that it's not as consistent
No,
as
it really isn't.
Tokyo
But
Black Hole.
because the best thing Psycho released was friggin' Dry Draw this year. I shit my pants when I first heard that song. I was like, this is exactly what I need Psycho to do. No,
Yeah.
I honestly had like I think a little bit of a freak out when I
Well,
heard that.
that song is very much like the guitarist she had on it, TK. He's got a
Yeah.
band. I forgot the name of it. It was very much like that. I think what she did well was like sort of reined him in a
Yeah.
little
When
bit
she was going mad,
and
man.
made like an actually good song with it.
Yeah. Oh, just when she starts just oh, I love it. And then Psycho also released a for her 30th birthday. She released an album with 2 new songs and a bunch of like kind of
She's 30.
almost. Yeah, she's 30. She's 30 and she has a kid. If you
Yeah,
believe
she
it,
seems so much younger.
right? Well, because she well, it's the way she looks and everything, and she associates with younger artists, younger idol
Hmm.
kind of like the idol formerly known as Lady Baby and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
she blends in the scene well, definitely. But she's how old's Utada again? I don't remember. Maybe close to that. I don't know. But
Yeah, but she's been active for so much longer.
oh yeah, forever. But yeah, the thing with Psycho is interesting. Like I said, Psycho likes Shina Ringo, but also Morning Musume. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's like a shifting of both worlds. Maybe, I mean, she's not
Yeah.
as insanely creative as Shina Ringo, but. But anyways, yeah, Psycho. Bam. What you got?
For number five,
Yeah,
um, I got Superman by Wednesday Campanella.
and I'm gonna
Campanella.
mention
Campanella.
that later too.
Um, the production on it is like
Insane.
yes. It's some really good production. I like the singer slash rapper's voice
Oh, she's
a
so good.
lot. It's just it's like a perfect. I think it's the best pop album from this year, in my opinion, that I have heard. I have not heard um, Melodrama yet, which has gotten a lot of really good press, really like
Y-
recently because
yeah,
it
you'll
was
hear about that
acclaimed.
later.
It was acclaimed earlier this year, but it was like sort of like, hey, this is pretty good, But now it's like topping lists.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, now it's like it's at like
Yo.
number one or number two. It's fighting with Kendrick
Yeah,
for
on
a
that
lot
one
of
website.
lists.
Yeah, but
Well, for a couple of them
I
actually.
bought it. I bought it on day one. I was there day one. Everyone, I'm special.
Anyway,
Yeah. What do
Superman
you?
is a really good album.
Oh hell yeah.
I think it maybe gets a little. It's like all of the songs are good, but
Yeah,
just in mass, it gets a little bit tiring to listen to
I
because
got you.
it's very loudly mastered.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah.
and but it's I mean not very, but like it's kind of like a lot of albums, where it's
Yeah.
like it is good, but it sometimes gets tiring to listen to just because of how loud it's mastered. And that's a thing for a lot of albums.
The
But anyway,
loudness war. Yes. But there
yeah.
it is. Number 4 for me is Paramore with After Laughter, the first album from Paramore that I've listened to. And I listened to everything except their self-titled album this year.
Which is their best?
I was,
You've
because
been
he keeps saying it's the best, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait to listen to this album because it's longer than the other one. So I'm gonna wait for a good time to listen
yeah.
to it, and I haven't. But I love this album. I think it's really good. Even because it has like that tint, the '80s kind of tint. But that's like what's really good about this album is, well, just Hayley Williams. Her lyrics and her
Mhm.
performances are really great on this album. I think I really like. It's a pretty depressing album. you know, it's
Yeah.
just about all the struggles of growing up and being old and stuff like that. Old with quotation marks. But
Yeah.
even songs like Idol Worship and stuff like that, like the lyrics are really great on this album. And it was an album that I just kept listening to, and going back and like, wow, this is good. I like it. The only thing
Nice.
I don't like on that is, what is it called? Friend No More or whatever. That was kind of
Oh,
that was
I don't. Oh, the spoken word thing.
yeah, that was odd.
So I thought it was kind of cool. I don't. I thought it was cool, like as an idea. No friend is what it is.
No
I thought it
friend.
was cool as an like I liked the track. I don't tend to like the vocals are by the guy from Me Without You.
Oh,
I don't tend to like his vocals a whole lot, but
I don't know, but yeah.
yeah, that was a cool record.
Oh,
I
I
would
really
sort
like
of
it.
place that as an honorable mention for me.
hmm
So,
But yeah, there it is. What do you got?
I got Narco Pop by Gas. This
Nautical
is
pop.
like this is like his first album in what, 17 years. Um, he released an ambient album in 2000 that I like a lot called Pop. Um, and it's really cool album, involves a lot of orchestral samples. This one's like much darker and more mysterious.
That's why it's called Narco Pop instead of Pop Volume 2.
Yeah. I yeah, because it's like dark, like sleep, narcolepsy. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
that's what the title means. Okay.
I'm guessing.
Ah.
But it's I don't know. I especially like in the past few days of really like this has sort of like gone up on my list. Um, especially listening to like it was released sort of, it had tracks, but it also like you could listen to it as one track because there's like a version where it's all one track, and especially listening to that version that's just one track, I just really liked it.
Oh yeah.
And it's very you kind of have to be in the mood for it,
Of
but
course.
when you are, it's really nice.
There it
So
is. Nautical Pop. Good old Nautical. Anyways,
Nardo.
good
It's
old.
German, so it's not
Oh,
really. He's German. I
yeah.
don't know if the name is German.
Gotcha, gotcha. So okay. I'm not gonna yell. Never mind. Anyway. Anyway, my number 3 is Damn. Um, this is also the first Kendrick album I listened to. So, I mean, it helps that it was the first one I listened to. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is really good. And I mean, yeah, his other albums are like maybe technically better, but Damn is just the album that I listen to a lot. You know?
There are a lot of technical aspects of this that are better than the previous ones. It's just I don't connect with it as much.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess because yeah, this album, because every track kind of like stands by itself, but also they go together because they have all the same kind of similar themes and concepts going on. And there's not one big general idea like there is with To Pimp a Butterfly and stuff like that. You know, it's just
Hmm.
about a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really, really like this album. I think there are a lot of like maybe kind of song-ish parts, Like some songs, like yeah, for instance, is kind of
Yeah,
like a that's kind of like a song, you know. But I
it's
just
yeah, actually.
sorry, yeah. I just
Yeah.
really, really like this album. I think it's really awesome. It's just as simple as that for me.
For my number three, I have Async by Ryuichi Sakamoto, or Sakamoto rather. Um, he is somebody that I ended up listening to a lot of, particularly because he does so much production and arrangement work for like the city pop, a lot of the city pop artists,
Yeah.
Taeko Nuki. He like produced a ton of her albums. Um, he did a lot of production work for like the Technokeo movements, Technokayo, which were like is like Japanese synth pop. And I also, was listening to a lot of like Yellow Magic Orchestra, which was the
That
band he
one
was
track
in.
on your playlist was wicked. I love that.
They've got a lot of really cool stuff. They've really cool albums. Um, but yeah, he's just he and the other members of Yellow Magic Orchestra are like the Dr. Luke's or Max Martin's
Uh,
of Japan, of 80s Japan,
but probably better. I
minus the,
hopefully better than those two.
in my opinion, also lacking the you know sexual assault thing.
Yeah,
But
the bad stuff.
um, I mean, I don't know. I like Max Martin. I'm not that big on Dr. Luke, but Max
No,
Martin I do like. Um,
he has produced some insanely catchy hits. Yeah.
yeah, but but yes, um, this album is like Ryuichi Sakamoto. After a while, he stopped making like the synth pop stuff, and he all the way through he composed a lot of film scores, but he experimented a lot with like experimental electronics, like a lot of ambient stuff. And this is sort of an ambient album. There's a lot of different like sides of ambient on it. There's like electroacoustic stuff. There's like a lot of just modern classical stuff. There's a piece for like three triangles that he has called Try,
What?
and it sounds like he's like it's like one triangle being like manipulated with like tape or something, but it's actually being performed live by three triangle players.
That's
And
badass.
so it's a really cool piece. I did have a piece from this album on my playlist. Uh, I wouldn't. It wasn't my favorite one. It just was the one that fit the best. But yes, it is a very good album. I like it a lot. It grew on me every time I listened to it. So
There it is. Okay. Now we're getting juicy. So number two is also Wednesday Campanella's Superman. Again, really, it's like the surprise album that came out of nowhere for me. Where when I listened to it, I was just like, "Whoa, what is this? Where did this come from?" 'Cause, oh, I freaking love this album. Like, the vocals, brilliant,
yeah,
and every song you can just listen to every song separately, and they're just all so good. You know, I can't even really pick a favorite off this album because there's just so much that's great.
I would say the Onyonkapon, that one,
Yeah,
Onkyokapon. Yeah, that
that's a cool
that
one.
one's probably my favorite.
Ikkyu-san or EQ-san is also really neat. Yeah.
That's a good one. I
And
like the video for that.
oh yeah, I just such a good album. Like again, and they've been releasing a lot of songs this year too that I haven't listened to. Like after the album, they had like maybe 3 or 4 singles after that.
Yeah.
They're just going at it. And frick, it is an awesome album. It was like, where did this come from? It's so good. There it is. What do you got?
So, number two, fittingly, is the album Two by Sagara. This is like an album of it's like Indian like Indian classical music, like Hindustani classical music um mixed with post minimalist classical and jazz.
Huh.
So it is like there's some really cool stuff on here. Um, it's probably one of the most interesting things, like stylistically, one of the most interesting things released this year. Um, there's I don't know, it's just lots of really good stuff. The guy who leads it plays bass clarinet on it.
Bass
Uh,
clarinet. I played bass
yeah,
clarinet in grade 9 music class.
did you?
Yes, because I was
Were you
like,
good?
oh, well, no, but the teacher's like, okay, I wanted to play saxophone, but there were already too many people that took it. So I was like,
Yeah,
teacher's like, what do you play? I'm like, I play bass because I didn't start a guitar at the time. He's like, you want to play bass
yeah.
clarinet? I was like, okay.
Do you still have it?
No, no, it was just in the music room, right?
Okay.
Because there were instruments in the music. Because it was just a
Yeah,
general thing that people would take, and there's just stuff there, and everyone
yeah.
sucked.
Hmm.
But that's just funny. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my number two. There's not a lot to say about it because there's no vocals or lyrics. It's just a really cool instrumental album. I dig it a lot, especially having gotten into Hindustani classical music this year.
There
So
it
a little
is.
bit. I didn't like, you know, I wasn't heavy into it. Um, you know, I plan to explore it a little bit more um, pretty soon here.
Bam.
So
Okay. Now we're in the juiciest of juiciest here. Number one. Number one. They told you. I see. I was trying to do like a. It doesn't work. I was trying to make it sound big and epic, but because it's a water bottle, you can't yell into it because it just doesn't. Yeah, shut up. Lord melodrama. Hell yeah! I freaking love Lord, man. This is just such a great album. Holy shit! Like it's just a perfect pop album. Everything about it, the concept, the way it's executed, Lord's vocals, the songs. I just really love this album. It's just really great. Just everything. I just love Lord. I mean, it helps that I like that there's someone like Lord who is the same age as us. You know,
yeah,
and I think that's just really cool. You know, and
yeah,
and it's just cool to
maybe a
have.
little bit discouraging, but
Maybe, but it's cool to have a figure like that in music that can be like, yeah, I'm the same age
yeah,
as the Lord, you know?
yeah,
I love Lord, and it's so good. It's so good.
yeah.
I don't really even know what to say about this album on like a reviewer point of view because everything about Lord is so cool because she like maybe does like the whole pop thing, but she has
Hmm.
like her own twist on everything, you know?
Yeah,
And just everything about her delivery and it's just a great album, man.
yeah. I was quite like I knew it was well received and everything,
Hmm.
but I was quite surprised that it did like so well
I didn't think it'd be
on the
this good.
year-end lists.
When I got it, I
So
was like, yeah, it'll be okay, I guess. It'll probably have a few songs I like. And then I was like, it's more than okay. You know, it's one of those things. It's not as good as Emotion, but it's the best pop album that's come out since then, I would say. There, that's my simple way of putting it.
but well, all right. So my number one is not anything that's so I don't know. It's not anything that's the best because it's the most dense or complex. It's not relevant or making any sort of statement on anything. It's not,
Oh, can I guess
a
what it
big
is?
album that everybody is paying attention to. We'll guess. I don't think you know, but
BarryGoldman.bandcamp.com/set/Magnus Bridge.
yes. Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Um, it's not. I just liked it the best, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess it just means I need to check out more albums because I am a big fan of like content albums, ones that are like saying something, you
Gotcha.
know? I just didn't find one that was like Async is the highest on my list, and that one, has some like personal aspects because Ryuichi Sakamoto um, was diagnosed with cancer, and like it's all about time and aging, that kind of thing. Um, that's part of why I really liked it. Um, but I think I just like this album. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's Mono no Aware. It's a various artists compilation
Oh, that thing, yeah.
of ambient music. Like that does not sound interesting to anybody,
No, not at
but
all.
it is very, very good. I liked it a lot. I listened to it a lot. It's probably my favorite of the year so far.
Well, at least you got
But
an interesting choice there. Not a lot of people are gonna put it number one there, right?
I suppose I didn't choose it for that, but
Well, yeah, neither did I.
it's
I'm just saying in general.
yeah, it's like I don't know, it's got a lot of like drone, progressive electronic stuff, some electroacoustic stuff. There's a lot of different like moods of ambient. Like some of it's really like calm, and some of it's like a little bit more hectic. I included one track, um, the Bill Coolagis, I think is how you pronounce his
I
last
don't I
name.
don't remember that one
Tracks
either.
VX Ohm.
Yeah,
That was in the volume one of my playlist.
yeah.
Wait till you guys hear about my 3 volume playlist. Um, but yeah, that's my favorite. There's just I don't know. I guess a lot of the stuff I got into this year was just stuff that was about having an awareness of sound. And this is
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there you go.
So this
Hmm?
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say,
I'm
yeah.
done.
There you go. Top 10 albums. There they are, laid out on the table with the soup ladle, or something like that. I don't freaking know, dude. I don't know. Now,
Do you like pour soup on the table with the
they're
ladle?
laid out on the table with the soup ladle because music is a stew. It's a big boiling pot, and you take out your favorite choices
That's
with the ladle and you put them on the table.
but not in a bowl or anything. Just
No, you just throw it on the table, man. You're like
don't you just eat soup by putting it on the table and lapping it up, you know?
the tablecloth. You lift the tablecloth up and you just freaking drink it.
You take the tablecloth up and you wring it into your mouth.
Oh, it's even worse.
You gotta clean the tablecloth beforehand, but
Well,
when you do, it's very good,
I like to use
It's
the SpongeBob tablecloth that I had for one of my early birthdays.
to eat soup. Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
that's
it's
that's
really good.
that's the way
SpongeBob
to eat soup,
steaks.
honestly. Like
I
all these people eating with like spoons, they're so uncultured.
freaking barbarians. I still have Attack of the Clones plates and napkins from 2002 for my birthday. Man. I'm
Yeah,
sure they're worth so much. You know.
I feel like this may have been sold in a garage sale, but I feel like we have a Phantom Menace shirt somewhere.
Oh, I do too. I have a C3PO and R2D2 one. Yeah.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
this one, it's like I think it's just like the movie poster,
Gotcha.
something like
Gotcha.
that. So
Good times. But yeah, soup ladle, table, soup label. Now, well, we could talk about hits briefly, but I don't really have much to say. This year for hits has been pretty shitty, honestly. A lot of it for me, I think. I don't think there's. Well, I also
yeah,
haven't listened
well,
to the radio.
there's some okay stuff.
Yeah, like probably one of the biggest songs was "Shape of You," which I didn't like at all. You know.
I, I grew to like the production on Shape of You.
Yeah.
Um, because it uses his like on the okay, so I've come to the conclusion that like hearing a song on the speakers in a supermarket is a recipe to make you dislike any song really.
Yes.
Um, because you can't hear any, particularly pop songs, because I think if you're either the kind of person who's going to assume the best of pop music or assume the worst of pop music.
Ah.
And I think it's almost impossible to be in the middle. It
Makes
just
sense.
depends on how well you connect with the culture at large. But I tend to be the person who thinks the worst of pop. Like when I hear a line and I don't know what it says, I always think it says the worst possibility of what it could say.
Doing
So like,
cocaine on the table, the
no,
party.
well, more like, okay, so there's the song, that one country, the she sets the city on fire.
Okay.
Well, I always thought that it said she set the city on fire.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, so I was like, man, pop lyrics are going down the drain. They don't make any sense anymore. I'm getting old.
What is it? What accent is that? Pop lyrics are going down the drain.
But
they're
when
drained
really
out.
I'm just being an elitist, and
I
the
know.
lyric makes sense because it's saying she sets the city on fire.
Yeah, I
It's not
know.
a good lyric,
But it's a
but
lyric.
I always assume the worst because I am not a good person.
That's how
So,
it goes, right?
um, but that's kind of so when I listen to Shape of You, all of the lyrical ambiguities and the production like that I couldn't hear, um, I was because it's like echoing in a big
Yeah.
supermarket. It's quiet. You're far away, so it's in mono and not in stereo. So it's kind of like I always assumed, hey, this production is like textbook, like tropical house production.
Yeah.
The lyrics, I still don't really like the lyrics,
I don't.
um, but I always assume the worst of its production.
Yeah.
I listen to my headphones. There's actually some cool stuff going on production wise, and it's more there are more like it uses his acoustic guitar percussion stuff pretty well
Oh,
in the
right.
song. Uh, so I like if I don't have to hear it all the time, and I don't anymore, I like it when it comes on.
I gotcha. There is also
So,
what's that one Spanish song?
oh, Despacito. I still have not heard that.
Yeah, I don't
It
like
was
it.
it literally broke records, like as far as being on the charts and all. I don't
It did.
remember which records
It.
but
I mean,
I
like.
did not hear it at all
Oh.
during its tenure on the charts.
Well, yeah. I mean, like to have songs in another language on the charts is cool and everything. I think
Yeah.
Spanish would be the biggest, definitely, that people would like, but I didn't like the song
Mhm.
at all. you know, and right now the big hit is Rockstar, oddly enough, which is
Which I don't hate actually,
okay. My
personally.
friend put it on the car yesterday, on the car in the car, and I was
On the
like. And he was playing he's playing all of Little Peep's EPs and stuff like that because he liked Little
Yeah,
Peep before he
I need to
died.
listen to Lil Peep.
He
Yeah, I need
listened
to
to
listen
Little
to Lil
Peep.
Peep because I didn't hear.
Yeah, he listened to him before he
So
died and everything. And then
yeah,
he put on Rockstar and it was just like it worked. And I was like, okay, it's not terrible. It's kind of just like a whatever song. It's the same vocal line over and over and everything. It's not terrible. It's whatever.
yeah.
I
If
get
I'm
it. I
honest,
get it.
probably the worst stuff I heard on the like the really big radio stations this year. Well, there was that. Okay, so there's that Taylor Swift song has probably some of like "Look at What You Made Me Do," and some of the other ones have some of the worst lyrics of the year,
It's a
which is really weird
shit song. Shit song. I really didn't like it at all.
because that's normally one of the areas where she performs the best is her lyrics.
Last album,
Uh,
yeah, definitely.
so it's like that. It's kind of weird. The production's kind of good, but it's like the lyrics are so like, and the chorus is just really bland. I don't know
Yeah.
what. I feel like there was no effort really put into it.
I was gonna listen to her
Um,
album, but I haven't, and I don't really want to because I just don't like anything that came from
yeah,
that.
and I also don't like. I feel like Taylor Swift, along with a few other artists, are like those kinds of artists that people are like, well, it's making a splash, so you have to listen to it.
Oh,
It's
really?
like this whole like pop monopoly kind of thing.
Uh,
It's like pop's like popularity kind of spirals back into itself. It doesn't really let many
Gotcha.
newcomers
Well, that's what's weird
go
about
back in.
this era in music. There's all the trap artists who most of them will fade away. I don't know how long people are going to be listening to Little Pump, you know. I don't think he's the next Biggie or whatever. But I don't I
There's
feel
some trap stuff I like, but I think as a genre,
it's
the
just
the charting stuff is so samey.
it really is. So it's weird because it's like I feel like we don't have a next generation of pop artists per se. Like compared to like the beginning of the decade to now, you know, it feels like a lot of them again, like Katy Perry and everything, are just waning and dying out. Like
Yeah.
something new. There should be a new wave.
Well, I mean the trap stuff I guess is the new thing, but it's not really played on on
It-
the like the it's not really played on certain stations. It is played on like SL 100,
yeah,
which
but
is really the most popular pop station. But on other
oh,
pop stations, it's like very much like, you know, like the white artists, like, and probably the worst stuff this
yeah.
year was like, well, there was Imagine Dragons had a
Ugh,
lot of really bad songs
I've
that
never
were
liked
just
them.
like these like, and partially what I don't like about Imagine Dragons is sort of like they like, it feels like they're drawing from the most boring elements of Hans Zimmer. Like they're trying to make this really epic sounding music and
Yeah.
like taking from Hans Zimmer's worst soundtracks or something. Um, and then the Maroon 5
Ugh.
stuff was weird. It's really weird. Um, their new album is called Red Pill
Yeah,
Blues.
that's a terrible name. I mean, they're probably just trying to make a joke, but it's a really bad topical
Yeah,
name. Because it's such
yeah,
a
and
topical thing that they probably weren't even commenting on, but it's just a shit thing to name an
I
album.
know. And it's also the cover is a picture of them like with Snapchat filters on. And not only that, but there are not five of them. There are seven.
You mean there's more than two of them or one of them?
They're, they're not Maroon 5, they are Maroon 7.
Oh, wait a minute. Their name implies how many members are in the band.
Yes,
I never realized
like the
that.
Jackson 5.
Holy shit. I just
But
thought they just had a number in there to be funny or whatever. I don't know.
there are now seven members of Maroon 5.
Why are they still relevant? I mean, I thought like
I have no idea. I think it's just because they started doing the tropical house thing. They started trend jumping.
I
They,
guess.
they got SZA on their new album and
Yeah, they
Kendrick.
did. They
Like,
did. Yeah.
but I mean, they're not obviously not doing their best work on that stuff. So,
No. But yeah, I don't know. This year for hits, it's been nothing really.
yeah. There was also at the beginning of the year you had Bad and Bougie,
What?
the Migos song Bad and Bougie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like Migos. I don't know.
But yeah, I don't. To be quite honest, I feel like the a lot of the critical like magazines and stuff that are like, it feels a little bit contrived to embrace. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that stuff, and I still cannot see what the like. It's now being like critically acclaimed, and I still cannot see the like what's so good about it, what's so special about it. There's some stuff that I like, um, but it never strikes me as particularly special.
Yeah.
There's some trap stuff that I've heard that's good, but most of the time it's the stuff that actually has like really good rappers on it. And I don't
Gotcha.
really feel like Migos are like celebrated because they are trap, and supposedly with like some good rapping over it, but I don't really see it or hear it rather. I'm
Yeah.
not really, you know. So
Well,
I
yeah,
mean I feel
it's
like like Bad and Bougie is fun. It's a fun song. I don't there's nothing about me that questions why it went to number one. What my question is sort of why, like, everybody likes it.
I don't know, but there's been a lot of weird
Yeah.
number ones. Again, we had Humble. Every song on Damn was on the Billboard 100 for a little while.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not
all
know that.
tracks on the album.
That is cool.
DNA is a top 5 hit too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. But
that
it's
is cool.
well, it's
Well,
weird
I
because the internet artists are becoming are hitting again the top 5 and everything now, which is interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty lame. I don't know.
So it's been, I don't know. I feel like 2017, even on the charts, is a transitional year
Yeah,
because trap dominated the charts this year,
it totally
like
did.
completely dominated. Um, so
Where's Pitbull
that
been?
that means like where's it gonna go? I don't know, but it's like I feel like it's signaling some kind of future. Like I feel
Yeah.
like trap right now is punk. I mean, a lot of people say that, but
That makes sense.
there's it's a really popular thing to say, but I feel like it's like the one where like a lot of like artists can go onto SoundCloud, they can really put together anything, you know, and really it just like launch up the charts. Like it's like kind of, and there are also going to be like a lot of like forgotten art, like SoundCloud artists
Yeah.
that are like kind of like those obscure punk tapes that people look for.
I hope that everyone forgets about like Xtenation and everything soon.
So, but it's that's kind of I feel like there's like a post trap movement coming. There's gonna be like I feel like Kendrick may have started it a little bit. Not started. There probably have been others, but there's gonna be like people who like that stuff, but just want to make way more intricate music
and maybe something more accessible for the charts or for the radio, general radio.
Well, trap production has already like infiltrated, you know, like pop music. Like Lana Del Rey's last album had some like trap production, but I feel like it's going to also be another thing where there are going to be a lot of artists. It's not like there aren't artists making like art with it, you know. I'm not trying to be like, but I feel like it's still kind of in the realm of really simple, minimal stuff going on, kind of like punk is, and there's going to be some where it's going to be like some really weird stuff going on.
That makes sense. Yeah.
There's going to be like avant trap coming up.
Holy shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's a weird year, so we'll see what happens next time.
Yeah, because I mean, I can like appreciate like some Young Thug stuff and some Future stuff. I still find them samey. I also don't like Young Thug's voice, but I think there's a weirdness to that stuff that's gonna like sort of infiltrate and become more regular. There's already a weird like vocal interpretations, but I feel like that's gonna happen more in the production and all that. So
yeah. So once more, we did a fancy playlist swap of the songs that defined our year that are not necessarily from the year, but you know, just a general year of music for us and how things were. So I guess we'll start with mine because mine's nice and short. Because you know, I can make a nice short playlist.
Well, I can. You know, it was really hard to narrow it down. I'll say that. There were so many songs that I felt, hey, this has to be on there. And I felt really bad whenever I got one. Which I did quite a bit, actually.
Well,
it's still 3 volumes, you know, like 75 songs. So, whereabouts. So that was, but anyway, yours was nice and short. You did send me a supplemental playlist, which I think I forgot to listen to because I heard most of the songs.
Yeah, that's
I looked at it. I was like, I've heard that Rad Wimp song. I heard the Vaseline song. I've heard the Fugazi song, the Paramore song.
Well, of
I
course.
think I've heard the Joker song. I think I've heard the Janet Jackson one. I've definitely heard the Nirvana one, and the one by the Damned, and the Jellyfish one, and the Courtney Barnett one, the Joni Mitchell one, and the Linkin Park. So I pretty much had heard most of it. So I think
Yeah.
was under the impression that I had listened to it, and then I realized, no, I haven't heard that Lou Reed song, and I haven't heard that Ramones song. So,
Wait, I thought you listened to Transformer.
uh, well, I guess then I have heard it, but I don't remember much about Transformer.
Gotcha.
Just warning you.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, though for me this year in music, it hasn't been the most eventful. Like, in prior years, last year's Sonic Youth came in, like, BAM! That's usually what happens. And the year before that, it was the Beatles and Bob Dylan that came in like loud sounds, and then Bruce and
yeah,
everything. And this year, it's just been like what I listened to so many albums, and only so many of them stuck. Really, there were no
yeah,
like I could say like Nirvana for a little bit, but that was the end of last year. And then by the time the snow melted, it was time for the Ramones, and then Chester
yeah.
died, so it was time for Linkin Park. It was a weird year.
Speaking of snow, it is like it has been snowing for hours here,
It
down here
snows.
in the deep south.
It
And like
snows over there.
that's what I'm saying. It's it's pretty anomalous. I mean, it's normally snows like once a year, but it's like
Oh,
for 20 minutes at like midnight, and by the time everybody wakes up, the snow is really gross and sloshy. But it has been snowing for hours. It is
really?
still snowing since I woke. Was snowing when I woke up this morning, and it's still snowing.
Oh man, we got hit hard up here. We got hit really hard. It
So,
was really bad. Yeah.
so anyway, I wanted to mention that because it's always good to end things with snow.
In
Um,
fact. But yeah, it's just been a year of like I don't know, random stuff really, nothing too exciting. The most
so,
defining song of the year was this song the playlist started with.
all right. Well, I guess we'll get into this. The Clash, Lost in the Supermarket.
Love that song.
Easily the best song on London Calling.
Yeah. I
Um,
really like that album at first, and there's still a lot of songs I love, like Spanish Bombs, The Card Sheet, Clamp
yeah,
Down, and but it's not like it's not like a White Album maybe where like every song adds up because
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that's just not good on it. You
yeah.
know?
It's nothing I hate, but it's just some of it's just all right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like Coca-Cola, and even the album doesn't start very strong either, I think.
Yeah. Well, with London, does it start with London Calling? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
and that song's okay, but then
I
you got
do
like
like that
Jimmy
song's good,
Jazz. You
but
got
the
like
others,
Jimmy
yeah,
Jazz and Brand New
that stuff
Cadillac.
isn't that good.
No.
Yeah,
But
but
then you
Lost
have
in the Supermarket is a good song.
oh, I love it. Just the intro just gets me.
Yeah,
It gets to my soul.
yeah. It's probably the most melodic on there.
Oh yeah.
Um, then we've got Nirvana, Sliver.
That
I've never
song
really died. Is that Bleach era Nirvana?
it was a single after Bleach, yeah.
Yeah, I've never really dived into Bleach era Nirvana, but
Yeah, this song
I
drives me
do
crazy.
I do kind of find the differences in their production like interesting for a band that whose their sound pretty much stayed the same throughout.
It did, yeah.
Like there was not really much change, but like the production changed.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting how that
Mhm.
created like three very singular albums.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I freaking Sliver drives me. It's my favorite Nirvana song easily.
yeah,
It drives me
it's a pretty
insane.
cool
That
song.
all it is "Grandma take me home" over and over, but it's so good. you know.
So, I mean, when what else are you gonna listen to when you really want Grandma to take you home?
Yeah. What else are you gonna listen to? And yeah, I love it. Just it makes me mad. Yeah.
So, um, and then Homemade Dynamite by Lord. I thought this song was cool. It's got some pretty cool production.
I
Stays kind of understated,
love the
which I
chorus.
like. Which I like because it's been the trend, like particularly with like Adele, to stay understated
Oh
but then get really big at the end, and
yeah.
I'm just not quite as interested in that right now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, I mean, I am. with some music, but for them it's really ironically melodramatic.
Oh,
Um, and that's the title of this of the Lord album, and it's not as melodramatic.
yeah.
Um, so and then there's Prom by SZA. I've already mentioned that it was cool, but I wasn't like it didn't really interest me to check out the album that much.
Yeah.
Um, so it didn't really strike me in a huge way, you know. It was just kind of it was there and it was nice.
Which is
Um,
probably how you feel about the next song too.
so yeah, it's kind of interesting to see a Japanese artist doing 80s revivalism, but reviving like American and British music and like Italo disco, like Western stuff, and not the like 80s Japan stuff, because
Oh.
that's like a thing, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not bad. The chorus kind of falls flat though
It
for
does.
me.
I just love the intro and the guitar parts in this song.
So, but yeah, it's got some nice stuff going on, you know. I wish it was like because I mean I love techno KO or at least the best techno KO stuff. And it'd be really cool to see somebody like do stuff like that
Ah.
and you know now.
Hmm.
But then there's the E-Ticket production song. I think the only thing I wrote in my notes about this is that I kind of dig it.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Like
It
it's just
is,
kind of
yeah.
this cool rap song. It has like a nice
It's
instrumental and everything.
surprisingly good actually, because you wouldn't think, you know,
Like
that
an all title could rap and that well and everything.
yeah, it's like you wouldn't think that like because I mean it's a pretty, you know, aesthetically it's sort of kawaii.
Hmm.
You wouldn't think it would work well, but it does.
It's cool, yeah.
So then Wednesday Campanella, uh, Ikki-san,
Again, I can put like
uh,
so many
ag-
songs from the album, but I just put that one because it's easy. It's an easy
again
choice.
on Onyankampon is my favorite song on the album, but I do like this video.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, I like the color grading on it. Um, so and then Ramones Don't Come Close, surprisingly jangly song for the
My
Ramones.
favorite Ramones song, easily. Yeah.
So then the Smiths Still Ill. I think actually Hatful of Hollow may be the best Smiths album. As far as
Uh,
song per song.
yeah, it's better because there are some songs on The Queen is Dead that I don't like too much.
Yeah. I'm not that big into Vicar and a Tutu, but I really like the harmonica on this song.
Oh yeah, it's a wicked song. Yeah,
So
and the guitar part too. I mean,
yeah.
well, you talk about the Smiths, you don't even need to mention the guitar parts in those songs.
Yeah,
It's just a
honestly,
given.
Johnny Marr is just the best part of the band, you know.
Hmm.
That's so then there's Joni Mitchell Coyote.
The sound of
It's
Canadian
a
winter.
classic, which
Yeah,
is a classic. I like Joni Mitchell a lot and that
yeah.
album.
I love Joni because again, her music just sounds like home to me. You
The
know.
bass player of that track on that track, Jaco Pastorius, who's a like jazz fusion bass player, is my dog's namesake. My dog's name is Jaco.
That's
My brother
badass.
was my brother's was really into Jaco for a while, and
Oh,
it made a good dog name. It really fits. He's a like a Chow slash Australian Shepherd, and I don't know. It's just I can't think of him as anything else but Jaco.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So anyway, moving on. The Teenage Kissers, Wendy. This is very. It's like basically 4AD nostalgia, the Japanese band. Like
Oh,
if you listen to like any 4AD stuff, like Melt with You, um, like any of those like big, especially the big singles, it's like this is very much like yeah, we're just trying to write Melt with You.
oh,
So
yeah.
you know, like I stopped the world and melt with you, like
Oh,
was originally an 80s song.
hmm.
Um, So it's a nice song.
And
It's
that's
a
Nana Katade singing that too. Yeah.
Yeah, which surprised me because I like from the way you talk about her, I always associated her with more like experimental stuff.
Well, it's only one of her albums where she went crazy, really.
Gotcha. I'll have to listen to that one because I
Yeah.
mean it's nice stuff, but I really want to hear like what her like crazy stuff sounds like. Um, Weezer in the Garage, and
The
you
theme
know
song of Barry Goldman almost.
I recommended this album to you, and I knew you would hit it off with the song in particular.
Of course.
So
Any song that has the lyrics "My favorite rock band Kiss" is guaranteed
yes,
to
yes.
do it. Like it's just a given.
Um, so yeah, I thought you would like this song. I like it too. I like the album. I think um, My Name is Jonas might be my favorite on the album.
That one's cool. Yeah.
So, which I didn't like as much at first, but and I recently re-listened to the album and like loved it.
Yeah, it's so good.
I do like Pinkerton. Well, at this point, I don't even really know because like Weezer's not like the most interesting band to me at the moment, but
Mhm.
I've always liked their music. I still do like it. Um, so like I don't know. I feel like the revisionist opinions are starting to set in, you know? So anyway, I'm just starting to gain some kind of distance from their discography.
Gotcha.
Um, So, then there's Mission of Burma. That's when I reach for my
One
revolver.
of the
Um,
best songs of its kind.
Mission of Burma is a great band.
Yeah.
I really like the Max Ernst song off this EP.
Ah,
The
but this
da da
this this
da da.
chorus, this chorus is just perfect though. In a
Yeah,
song.
there's a lot of cool songs, and the album two verses is really cool.
Yeah, really good.
Um, then there's Draw a Dow by Psycho
I
Umori.
already mentioned it before.
It's not after hearing like TK's other music, this isn't as out of nowhere, but
I guess, yeah.
yeah, she reins him in, and this is probably the best thing he's done. So, I like this song. It's a cool song.
It's cool. It's cool. Cool track.
The Replacements, Bastards of Young.
All replacements so good.
I of course am into the Replacements as they are on my playlist too.
Yeah.
Um, this is a deeper cut than my predictable I Will Dare pick, but
Which I thought was
um,
odd because I didn't think that was one of the better songs on Let It Be, but I don't know.
oh, in my opinion, it's the best. It's just I don't know.
I think
Immediately
that
as it
I
starts, it feels iconic.
gotcha, but I think with Let It Be, I think as soon as it gets to the Kiss cover Black Diamond, that's when shit gets real on that album. And you get songs like 16 Blue and Unsatisfied and Answering Machine and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know?
What I really like it. I think the best thing about Let It Be is how like the thing that puts it over other Replacements albums for me is that it starts and ends so well. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's got a like I don't feel like Pleased to Meet Me does that so well.
I don't like that album as much.
I've not heard I like Alex Chilton a lot, that song.
Uh,
But I'm not as um into the rest of the album. I've not heard Tim, but I plan to. And then the next, Lady Baby Blue. It's
which
kind of interesting how they sound without Lady Beard.
yeah, I
Um,
like them better with the Lady Bird. This is a
it's
song that
def
Psycho wrote too.
it's definitely preferable. It's not. I don't remember it like being like hugely mind blowing. I just remember it being a little bit more like
It's just like
cohesive.
it's an idol rock song, you know.
Yeah, you know. Paramore, Turn It Off, a good song from a good album, probably the
Good
best
emo
from
song.
this album.
Yeah.
Self-titled is still the best. Actually, I would say by far. Um, and has the best songs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I like the self-titled better each time I listen to it. So then Carly Rae Jepsen, Cut to the Feeling. I actually didn't like this song as much as a lot of Carly Rae Jepsen fans. I really love the verses. and I wish the verses would last longer. The
Ah,
choruses didn't get me like people loved that chorus, but I kind of came away from the chorus a little bit disappointed.
I don't know.
Um,
I mean, again, it's Carly Rae,
it's
and it's the same style as the other stuff, so it's just one of
yeah,
those songs to just tide you, wait for the next album kind of thing.
yeah. Everybody I talk to like loves that chorus, but I'm not. I really liked the verses and wish the verses would be longer,
The
and then
verses are
maybe the
cool.
chorus would be. Maybe I would like the choruses more.
I think the chorus has
Um,
a good takeoff to it. I don't think this is as good as the Emotion Side B stuff from last year, but it's
mm,
still like a good Carly Rae. You know, it's good that she's releasing stuff while she's working on her next album, so you know it keeps momentum.
yeah. And then Azalea, Galaxy Hide and
Just a
Seek.
love live song.
Just getting into some really weeby stuff.
I like it. I love
Like,
this song, but
but it's a nice song. You know, I like it.
it's the kind of
I
song
dig
that I
it.
like to just drive around in the morning with. You know, it's one of those kind of
Yeah.
tracks.
Then Patti Smith Land, which is a raucous, jammy track, which it's surprised it's like 9 minutes. It doesn't
Yeah.
get boring though.
Oh, the
Um,
Horses
very
is
cool.
the best album I listened to this year. Freaking wicked album.
Didn't
Oh,
did Michael was Michael Stipe somehow involved in this
the
album?
guy from television. Oh wait, no, we're
Tom
not talking.
Tom Verlaine, yeah, was. I know that.
He played on shit. I don't remember the song's called. One of the songs, but I don't know about that guy.
But I know Michael Stipe like really likes Patti Smith,
Oh.
but from REM, Michael Stipe from
Yeah,
REM. But
but Patti Smith's wicked. She's again one of those punk artists who is punk in attitude, not necessarily
yeah, I
just
I never
everything.
like at least from what Tom Verlaine says. Tom Verlaine was like television wasn't punk, Patti Smith wasn't punk, none of that stuff that we played at CBGBs and that's about it. That's the most punk thing we did.
Yeah.
But they didn't think of themselves as punk. It doesn't seem
Wait,
like.
because yeah, it's not like Ramones or Sex Pistols stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But it's just about the attitude, the general attitude in the music and ambition. Even especially this album has a song like
yeah,
Birdland, which is just all this weird singing and talking all over it. Well, there's a kind of a nothing instrumental, you know.
yeah. So, and then we have Kendrick Lamar, Love. Of
Yeah,
course, I know this one of the best tracks on the album.
I love it.
Um,
I love it.
a good album. So it's a good song.
Yeah, and then
I
probably
like the
one of the hmm?
I like the sort of '80s like drum machine kind of stuff that's going on there.
Yeah.
So then you'll have to tell me how to pronounce this guy's name,
Oh,
Umberto
I don't
Tozzi.
know.
Okay, so uh, you're as out of touch with your Italian heritage as I am.
Yeah, so wait,
Um,
are you full or half like me?
I am a quarter.
A quarter.
Yeah,
Okay.
my dad's half.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But this is a nice Italian pop song.
Oh yeah.
I was actually got into a little bit of like after I made the playlist, I was listening to some soundtracks for some Dario Argento films. I was listening to the
Oh,
Goblin soundtrack,
yeah.
the Suspiria soundtrack by Goblin rather,
Mhm.
and then the Bird with the Crystal Plumage soundtrack by Ennio Morricone. Um, some cool Italian stuff.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think this song's weird because I've heard it somewhere, probably from my grandma in like the van or whatever, you
Gotcha.
know. So as soon as I heard it, I kind of like shit my pants because I was like, "Where have I heard this before?" And it makes me sad, in a way, you know. But like,
Nostalgic,
yeah, almost. But
because
it
there's
just
like an entire world that you missed as a kid.
well because it's like it just makes me think of my grandparents, how they came over here and everything like that, you know.
Yeah.
I guess start thinking about stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just
So
all that sentiment.
then there's, speaking of sentiment, Linkin
Uh,
Park, Shadow of the Day.
yes,
It's the
which
next song.
again, the biggest musical event was Chester's death for me because that was the first time a celebrity death had an effect on me in any way. Like I wasn't the I mean, it was only for a little bit that I loved Linkin Park after I saw Transformers in 2007, you know. And I always had a warmness for them, but they were never like after that, I was like, oh, Linkin Park, whatever, ha, ha, ha. But then when he died, I was like, oh shit. And then I listened to their stuff, and I was like, yeah, it's good. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's actually good.
Minutes to Midnight I found to be their best album that I listened to. The others I tried didn't really catch me.
Nah. Yeah. I mean, because it's part sentiment, but a song like this, I think, is just a good song. Same with Waiting for the End. They're just great songs.
You did send me that Linkin Park playlist, which I did listen to a while back. We can actually talk about those. I mean, maybe not in depth, but
I didn't listen to yours though.
I did like the Minutes to Midnight songs. Really, were just the ones that I liked. Really so good. I just checked out that album and liked it, and have tried to listen to like Hybrid Theory and stuff, but I haven't really gelled with it that much.
Well, I think again with stuff like that, it is the sentiment that helps, but I don't know, there's just something about it. There's a whole complex thing, because again, this year is like, holy shit, 2007 was 10 years ago. There's a little bit of a dilemma like that. And
then you have Sonic Youth Diamond Sea, the edited down version, the short version, which kind of offended me. Like, who do you think I am? I can take it. What do you think? What do you?
I was being generous.
Washing Machine is my favorite Sonic Youth album. Like, what are you trying to say about me?
I guess that was kind of a
I can't take 19 minutes of noise. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think that it just ends the playlist better, because you get Shadow of the Day, and then you get the nice version of the Diamond Sea.
Okay. So you think that Sonic Youth could have come up with a better ender than the full version of Diamond.
I love Diamond Sea. I love every minute of that song. Diamond Sea. Oh, I love that song so much. But the short version just fits well.
You wanted to end it mellow. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
The Diamond Sea is just the song that I just hear in my head often.
I get it. Like, sometimes you make mistakes. It's just
just the time thinks it's crazy, so that whole thing is going on, everything. I love it. And of course I can't put the full version on my mixtape, my 90-minute mixtape, otherwise I'm gonna have to cut out so many songs.
That's true.
So. I just thought it would be a fitting ending, because again, Sonic Youth still carried over a bit from last year, so there's still stuff like that going on.
So,
yes.
I was very not nice. I gave Manimal 3 playlists, or rather 1 playlist and 3 volumes. Around 25 songs each. One was 25 songs. One was 20.
It was 25, 26, 26.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, that was a thing.
Yes.
So, I apologize.
Well,
I guess it's too late now.
You don't even have to apologize, because at first I was like, because I procrastinate a lot when someone's like, listen to this. I'm like, okay. I take a long time to listen to stuff. You know that. And
yeah, I do.
But then when I finally did, I was like, oh shit, there's so much on here that is good and interesting and stuff to look into, because there's a lot. I'm not like, I mean, I can only talk about the songs that I remember. I don't like Volume 1. There's like Can. I don't really remember anything about the Can songs. I thought they were like okay. I don't know. And there's all like that. What would you call all those Japanese songs again?
Oh yeah, there's the city pop stuff, but there's also the techno chaos stuff.
Yeah, that stuff was really cool. All that.
So
stuff
which ones?
Really cool.
Which ones? Okay, so let's just kind of go through chronologically with the notable ones.
Yes.
If you can pull up a.
I'm looking at your playlist right now. I don't remember so much Volume 1, but you have like Rose Garden and The Woman Who Fell in Love During Summer. That stuff was cool. But really in Volume 3 with the yellow thing.
Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Yeah, that was super cool. And I don't know, you had a lot of that Sakamoto guy sprinkled around here, and I thought that
Yeah,
the song you ended Volume 3 with had the most wicked panning effects, where it sounded like something was, you know, from ear to ear.
yeah,
That was amazing. You know.
yeah. He's got some really cool stuff. Um, okay, so I guess just I'll pull it up. So what? So there was nothing else notable that you remember about Volume One.
Oh no, I remember more. Okay, I listened
Okay,
to a Toots album before, and Pressure Drop was the best song on it for sure.
Pressure Drop is a great song.
It was a
Did
great
you
album.
listen?
It
Which
had
album
Country
did you
Road.
listen
It had
to?
Country Road on it too, and
Yeah,
some other
yeah,
covers.
Funky Kingston.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was good.
Country Road is their cover of Country Road was really cool. What do you think of Plastic Love?
Plastic Love.
The one that was deleted. It was like the seventh song.
I
Um,
do not remember it at all, to
it's
be
like the
honest.
disco one. It was a Japanese disco one.
I probably thought it was cool because it sounds cool.
So
Because I
I
kind of
had
remember, because there were songs like this that were like, wow, that's cool, and I don't remember what it was.
yeah.
You know.
There are a couple of Brazilian ones
Yeah, and
on Volume One.
those were good. All the Brazilian songs are really good. You know, everything here was great.
Yeah.
And then there was Smash Mouth. So Smash Mouth comes on, and I didn't even look at what it was. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that was something. And then I was like, oh wait, when's the Smash Mouth song gonna play? Oh, it already played. You know, it was kind of surprising.
And you didn't. So I I was pretty surprised to actually find that I liked a Smash Mouth album, let alone the one with All Star on it.
Yeah,
So it was really, I mean, I don't like I don't like I kind of like All Star actually,
I do.
but I
I mean,
never I
again, it
never
was one of those songs that whenever you heard it before, it was like, yeah, that's a nice song, but then it became a meme.
yeah,
You know?
I think it just kind of like the meme kind of ruined it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny that he uses the phrase whacking up.
Whacking up.
This like so I may use that phrase from now on.
Hey, I'm whacking up.
Any so I had a stream of like ambient tracks on there. Like I had
Yeah.
it's sort of
Uh,
like I it sort of got a little bit more ambient as time went on. I had All I Need by Air.
I don't really remember them. I thought the ambient tracks were cool, but
So
with ambient tracks, they're hard to remember. You know?
yeah. What do you think about that Aw Tecker song? I noticed that you stopped there, and I wondered if that was the reason.
Oh no, I just stopped
Gans
because
Craft?
I just stopped because I was like I was done for the day, and then I went back.
Okay.
You know?
Because that Aw Tecker song was like the crazy,
Yeah.
crazy one.
I don't remember it honestly. I don't. I everything after this I will remember. But, you know,
So,
that first stuff I don't
um,
remember.
then there
Wow.
was Inside Out by Clipping.
Yeah, that was a really cool. That was a really cool track.
So,
I know Clipping. They make a lot of like freaking like BDSM shit, don't they?
well, there was like one EP that they released that was like that. Their other
Uh,
stuff isn't. Like for instance, their last album was a sci-fi concept album.
yeah. All right. Yeah,
So
'cause this song was cool. I thought it was pretty neat. It's a neat rap track.
Closer's by Nine Inch
Yeah.
Nails.
First thing I did was look up the lyrics to this song to see what you meant in your thing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be some freaking crazy rock song, and then it wasn't, and that was
Yeah,
surprising, and it was cool. It was interesting, you know.
it's a pretty good album.
I
It
was
kind of
surprised.
like a friend of mine was kind of obsessing over it, and I listened to it, and it left a big impression on me. It's like one of those albums that like is very, very memorable when you
Yeah,
listen to it.
it's neat. It was I didn't expect it to be so like I guess smooth or whatever, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is gonna be some just dirty, noisy ass '90s rock song, and he's just
yeah.
gonna like
Which the next
scream.
one sort of was.
The
Um,
next one was oh yeah, I don't remember that one too much. It was so
Outdated by
short. It was so
the
short.
Closer.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not my favorite song on the album, but like a lot of those also have questionable lyrics, and I wanted to kind of not.
I didn't
Um,
look up the lyrics, but yeah, the next song was really great.
but the reason why I kind of decided to choose Mouth Breather rather than a couple of others that are, you know, because one of the funny things about Mouth Breather is that it's about the I believe the singer or drummer the I believe the drummer of Slint.
Okay.
I think it was Britt Walford. Yeah,
Oh,
he was the drummer of Slint, and um, it basically I think the story was that Steve Albini um, got Britt Walford to watch his house.
oh,
Um, and Britt Walford got really drunk and like destroyed some parts of the house.
oh God.
Did some like really reckless stuff.
Yeah.
Steve Albini produced both Slint's first album and I believe the Jesus Lizard album.
Oh,
So yeah,
in- interesting.
that's that. But anyway, the next song,
Next song is really good. Yeah,
Now Identificado by Gal Costa, Brazilian artist.
that was cool.
Um, I listened to this album a lot. My Brazilian band covered a song from this album.
Oh.
Um, so yeah, and then I had a stream of like more experimental stuff.
Yeah, the AMM song was pretty crazy. That was interesting.
Yeah, that's from 1966, if you believe that.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't believe
So
that. Interesting. Pale Light, I don't remember a single thing from this song. I felt like it did not a lot, you know?
it's very quiet, and that's
Yeah.
um the theme with like Tetsuji Akiyama and like a lot of the other artists associated with the Onkyo scene, which
Yeah.
is I was listening to a lot of that stuff. That's why I included some of that stuff. I wish I could include more, but it just doesn't really make for good playlist material. Like you just
No.
gotta listen to the album all the way through and get into that like calm mode where your mind is just silent
Yeah.
completely.
So yeah, that was
So,
volume one. It was fractured for me, so I don't exactly can't say much as a listening experience, I guess.
hmm,
You know. But volume two is not. And volume two was pretty cool. You know, there's all that stuff. What was it? Teal or no, whatever the first
Teal
one.
Yomi,
Teal
yeah,
Yomi. Yeah, that was
by
cool.
Igloo Ghost.
Yeah, Heralds of Change. That's the one that was the weird track that had random like rap in it, right? Work that.
Yeah,
That was really cool. That was really interesting.
so,
And we mentioned Vince Staples. The Sophie song was pretty wild.
yeah. Like that album. Kind of like when I listened to that album, it was like the first thing I'd heard in a while that actually like kind of shocked me.
Yeah. The Easy Fun song Laplander was really cool.
Mhm.
That was a good track. Again, the Sampha song Blood on Me was my favorite song off the album. I thought
So then,
it was cool. And obviously you mentioned Wednesday Campanella and this is like I don't the Kelly Leone song I don't remember at all. It just kind of came and went for me,
mhm.
you know. Obviously Kendrick with Element, which is the catchiest song on the album. Again, not a song that
Yeah,
you really want to sing just in public randomly, you know, but it's catchy as shit. That's the thing.
mhm.
And then obviously Biggie with Juicy, great song. I listened to that album too, Ready to Die, and it
Yeah,
was a solid album, you know. You know, got like Big Pup on there and stuff like that. It was good stuff.
yeah.
Definitely like Biggie. Yeah. He's cool. And then
Everybody thinks of him as like kind of. Sometimes people think of him as like kind of party rap a little
oh,
bit, but then
yeah.
you have songs like Everyday Struggle on there,
Yeah.
which
It's
have like
great. Biggie just has like an ultimate voice too. Such a great
yeah, he
voice.
does. He's probably one of my I he's just of all of the 90s rappers, like he's probably got the most charisma
Oh,
for
for
me.
sure, for sure.
So, I mean, I love like Nas. Like I like Illmatic better than I like Ready to Die.
Yeah.
Um,
And well, you know, I like
but it's
Tupac's album, what was it Me Against the World? Had good
I need
stuff
to
on it.
listen to that one. I've listened to a little bit of Tupac, but it's always been like incomplete listens, you
Well,
know.
Dear Mama is a freaking great song. You know,
Yeah.
that one's really good.
I also
But
feel like Tupac's maybe a little bit like more off the cuff than some of the more East Coast stuff,
yeah, yeah, I
you know.
guess so. But yeah,
But
that was that. And then there was Bunny Wailer Fighting Against Conviction. Really great song.
it
That
is
one.
a really good song.
Um, then I was kind of forgetting stuff here. There was Miss Otis Regrets was really good. That was like,
Yeah,
oh wow, that came out of nowhere. You know?
it's kind of a pretty sad song.
Yeah. And then there were what was this one? Judy Sill, The Kiss.
Yeah,
That was interesting. That was a good tune. I thought it was
yeah.
nice. It was a nice song. You know?
She's got that like twangy Southern accent, but it's like with
Yeah.
a string quartet and whatnot. So that album's really good. It's just like a nice like chamber folk gospel country, you know,
Yeah.
hybrid that's really effective.
Yeah, that's good. And then you had Secret Time, which was a good track.
Yeah, you're skipping over some of the
Well,
Brazilian
I'm skipping
ones.
over stuff that I didn't. I'm just mentioning the
Gotcha.
ones that I like remember the most and stuff. You know?
Yeah, Secret Time is by Mary Ijima,
Yeah.
who was the voice of Lin Min Mei from Across, a series that I watched and enjoyed a lot this year and a little bit last year. Um, it's like, and Macross is like kind of one of those series that um, there's a lot of imperfect writing on it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I realized one of the biggest, like one of the most important things for me is like if something like interests me aesthetically, like I just can, I don't know, there are a lot of flaws that I can overlook. I think people are that way with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
except with Star Wars, a lot of people just like bend over backwards with like fan theories to explain plot holes that
Oh
are
yeah.
just
Yeah.
plot
That's
holes,
that's
pretty much.
silly. That's silliness. Yeah. Hmm.
Um, and you know, like of course the like writers of the comics and novels do it because that's their job, but like
Yeah.
the fans do it, and it's kind of
It's like okay, guys. You
but
know.
yeah, and it was produced by Ryuichi Sakamoto,
Oh, there he is
the
again.
her debut album.
Yeah.
Um, I I do like the album. It's not as Secret Time is the best song.
That's
It's
cool.
not as consistent, but um,
And then we got the Buzzcocks, "Ever Fallen in Love," which is a great song. Their best song, I
there's
guess. It's really
well,
it's a really
there's
cool song.
you should listen to the singles going steady compilation. It's just
Yeah.
every song on there is good.
Okay.
Um, and then I have the replacements. I Will Dare.
Which again, yeah, I think it's a cool song. You know, me, and it's a catchy tune and all. But
Yeah,
I think it's, I don't know. It's just a song that's like, yeah, it's cool. But I don't think a lot of it compared to like again, Unsatisfied and 16 Blue, and
yeah,
the most amazing Kiss cover I've ever heard in my life. Oh, I love that version of Black Diamond. I okay. Well, the Melvins Going Blind would be like a number two choice as well
yeah,
because they both just like take these great songs and make them great in their own way. You know.
yeah.
So they're really that's what a cover should be, obviously. And then the Sparks, thank God it's not Christmas. This is an album I got 2 years ago at the record store, and I really like it. Because well, the first time I heard the Sparks, I was like, because I saw this album at the record store, and I was like, oh, are these girls on the cover singing? So I looked it up on YouTube, and I was like, what is this? What is this
Yeah.
man? What is this man? Because I that was before I heard anything really weird, quote weird. So that was odd. That was because first I was like, oh, this is garbage. I'm not gonna listen to this. And I was like, wait. And
Yeah.
I kept thinking about it, and then I had to buy it, and I was like, wait, this is really good.
I think this is still my favorite song of theirs, even though I like Propaganda as a whole better than uh, Kimono My House, and
Yeah.
also I like Indiscreet.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
So,
It's just
but
cool stuff in general.
yeah, they're a great band. I listened to a lot of them at some point this year. So
Hmm. And then we have what was it? The Rashomon.
Yeah, Takeshi Tarachi and the Blue Jeans.
That was a really cool song.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a cool album because it's like I've been looking for kind of stuff in the Dick Dale school of surf rock that kind of does something interesting with it,
yeah.
and this album definitely does it. It has a lot of like Japanese folk music, and like there's a lot of really cool fuzz tones. It's a very cool album.
Yeah, and then so yes, there's an album that we both experienced this year, and it's an album that everyone needs to experience in their life. It's kind of like it's an album that makes you want to vomit a lot. It really just makes you want to just like inhale, just like spew your guts forward, but at the same time you kind of start to like it. It's it's Trail Mass Replica. The
By
class,
Captain
a
Beefheart.
Captain Beefheart, a classic album of how do you define Trump Mass Replica?
It's just crazy avant rock from the '60s.
Yeah,
It's really hard
basically
to.
Trump Mask is like there are two guitarists who are playing completely different things. There's a drummer that, and sometimes it works in a weird way where the drums connect with both guitars almost.
Mhm.
Like, but the guitars are both playing different things, and like sometimes like just totally different things. And then you got this like your friggin' old drunk uncle is barfing all over you with like Pappy with the khaki sweatband, bowed goat pot bellied barnyard that he only noticed. You know, with the very intricate rainbow trout replica.
They practiced like for 12 hours like,
Yeah.
and these were like really competent music. Like you listen to previous Captain Beefheart stuff. This is like they were really competent musicians.
So there's a
For
lot
this
of
stuff,
method to this insanity,
yes.
and
They practiced for like 12 hours a day for a year,
so
this material.
it's not
And
just
so they,
like people just throwing stuff around and being
yeah,
random. There's like
exactly.
there's something more to this album that's it makes it so confusing. You
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And well, the
And
song you picked, "Moonlight on Vermont," is like probably one of the easiest songs on the album.
yeah, it is. Yeah. It's what probably the most post-punk of any of the songs.
My favorite is "Neon Matey Dream of a Octafish," swirling with
That's a great.
syrup and semen and serum. This shit's crazy. I really love Captain Beefheart's lyrics, so I tried to be like that in my music for a little bit, but then thankfully I stopped.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, it was a good thing I stopped. But it's Beefheart's crazy. It's an
Yeah.
experience. And then we have Soundgarden Head Down, which I listened to this album and it was pretty good.
Yeah,
So
I really like this album. Like I'm kind of sad that I slept on Soundgarden for a while, but um, you know, better late than never, I guess.
well, sometimes it takes a death like that for you to actually look into something like with Prince or
Yeah,
anything else.
Prince was yeah that for me.
And yeah, Head Down was one of the best songs on the album for sure.
Yeah,
That's cool. The Switchfoot song More Than Fine was pretty good.
yeah. So I'm glad I revisited them because I I didn't because I've revisited them before, just kind of like been my typical hard to please self and just being like, eh. But I really connected with their music this time again. I like, I don't know. It's just I love particularly that album. It's got like it's like this ideal I have in my head of mainstream rock production, just where the illusion is never broken. It
Gotcha.
never becomes just a recording.
Oh, okay.
It's like more than the sum of its parts, and that's it. And it's fitting because it was the first big rock album that I really got into.
There you
Um,
go.
so it's like it's been in my head. It's like this is how production should be done. Aside from the vocals, the vocals are just maybe a little like too sibilant. Not enough body to them. But there's like I don't know. It's just like the guitars sound amazing. The drums sound amazing on that album, particularly on the heavier tracks. I didn't post one where like you could really hear like how just the instruments were recorded,
Oh,
but they sound amazing.
yeah.
Um, although there's a lot of production stuff going on in this track, just a lot of different instruments and whatnot.
Yeah, it's cool. And so is the Failure song, The Nurse Who Loved Me.
Yeah, this which is like I I I liked that Failure album a lot in middle school.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic Planet.
Yeah.
Um, but I never and I liked that song, but I never realized what that song was about.
Ah.
Which is like it's a basically when I learned that all the songs were pretty much like in reference. Well, not all of the songs, but a lot of them were in reference to like the heroin addiction that some of the members of the band were dealing with at the time. I realized that that song is sort of like this guy who's going through rehab and he falls in love with this nurse, but only because partially because it's transference, but also because he knows he can get drugs out of her.
Ah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like told in this really heartbreaking way,
Yeah.
because it's like this guy who's sort of, I think, like he doesn't realize that he's doomed to his addiction. So
The
anyway,
tragedy. Yeah. So yeah, Playlist 2, Volume 2, good stuff. A lot of good stuff on this one. A lot of cool things. Now Volume 3, again, I don't really the first few songs were pretty cool, but I don't really remember a lot of specifics. The what was it, Yoko Fujita song was pretty neat.
hmm and that was one like I listened to that album a lot, but it's a pretty imperfect album. Like there are songs that I don't like on it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kept listening to it, and I couldn't stop
Yeah,
because there were some really good songs on it.
yeah, it's pretty neat. And obviously Velvet Underground, Candy Says is a cool song. Um yeah, of course I prefer White Light, White Heat, getting wild up in here. But the self-titled has its moments too.
hmm
Radiohead, no surprises. Like I did listen to OK Computer again this year, and I listened to the Bends twice. I like the
hmm
Bends more. I think I like Kid A the
Yeah,
most, but OK
yeah,
Computer, it doesn't really do much for me. But the song's good though.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. What was it? Hariomo
Haruomi Hosono.
That was Sportsman. That was an interesting song.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. It's kind of a silly song with like this dark underbelly with another kind of more optimistic underbelly. Um, because he's talking about like I don't know. It's like on the first level, there's like sportsmen, like it's kind of silly, and then the image of like the whole family getting into shape and floodlights is kind of silly. But then it's like he's talking about how he might be anorexic or an insomniac or apoplectic.
What?
Um, well, because he's just like he's somebody who is very like sickly, um, unattractive, But then he's like, but I'll be a good sport and I'll like, you know, do my best to woo
Ah,
this woman that he feels very inferior to.
interesting.
So I don't know. It's kind of a fun song.
Yeah, and then Birds of Passage was pretty
Yes,
cool.
that's. I chance bought that album from a sale at Xperia Media, which is like a record, sort of a record store, record label kind of thing. Um, and I bought like a bunch of albums for like $25. I got like 12 albums, I think. Um, and I don't regret any of them. I haven't listened to all of them, but the few that I've listened to quite a few times. This was one of them. It was very atmospheric, and I listened to it a lot to calm me down.
There you
So
go.
it was nice.
Yeah, it's good. I don't remember the Fleet Foxes song at all. The one with the Indian slide guitar is pretty cool. I didn't realize, like, I know
Yeah,
I know that sound because what Beatles song was it that um the Inner Light maybe where George did that kind of thing. I think. I
which
don't know.
song?
The Inner Light?
I don't know that one.
It's the B-side for the Lady Madonna single. Yeah, it's a random one.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a familiar sound. It's pretty cool, you know.
yeah,
It's cool things. And then the Peter Tosh, I listened to that album.
yeah.
It was
It's a good
good
album.
cuz with the reggae is like dominated by Bob Marley. Anytime you hear
Yeah.
reggae, there's like, is there any other genre where as soon as you hear the name, you think of just one artist? When you hear reggae, you only think of Bob Marley normally, like in
I
general.
think a lot of people when they hear industrial, they think of Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, that I guess there are others. I think funk, everybody thinks of James Brown.
I don't know. With funk, I think people think of "We Got the Funk." We got the funk.
I don't tend to think of that song, but I
It's
guess.
like the national anthem of funk, though. But yeah, it's good. It's whenever you listen to reggae and it's not Bob Marley, and you're like, wow, this is good.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just numb, but I've not really, really, really gotten into a Marley album.
I like Bob
Uh,
Marley, but
and it's like
yeah,
it's all the same guys, like Peter Tosh and
yeah.
Bunny Wailer are on those Marley albums, but
Well, yeah, because
they,
Get Up, Stand Up is on Bob Marley's greatest hits album too.
yeah, but I mean, their material is like, and their voice and their lyrics are just better.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really interesting lyrics and stuff on that album. Definitely,
Yeah,
a lot of
on the
stuff
Bunny
about
Wailer too.
Africa and everything.
On the Bunny Wailer one too.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
lot more like personality to it. I think Marley was just trying to be like appeal to a wide market, and so that he
yeah,
kind of diluted himself a little bit, I guess,
maybe.
for the so he could be more famous, I guess.
Oh,
So
but yeah. And then we had what is her name again?
Solange,
Yeah, I don't remember the song.
Cranston's,
I
and
don't.
so you should listen to that album.
Maybe,
It is a
and it's
very
because
good album.
yeah, maybe.
It's probably the bet. Like it's better than Process. Um, well, Process is like way different. Like Solange is way more R&B than Sampha. Sampha
Oh
isn't really all that R&B except in
no.
his vocal affectations. Um, but as far as all R&B stuff that I've heard, neo soul, which I feel like accurately describes Solange, A Seat at the Table is probably the best that I've heard.
Okay, well there it is. And then this Talk Talk song, "It's Getting Late in the Evening," was interesting because like
Yes.
the vocals came in like pretty late, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a neat song.
I mean, it's not like, it's not my favorite song by them. It's the one I listened to most this year because I discovered it this year.
Ah, gotcha.
Um, I was friends with somebody. It was kind of a still is kind of a strange friendship. Um, but they gave me Spirit of Eden, which was an album I knew and loved. So I was listening to that album this year a lot. Probably should have posted a song from there because I was listening to that album again pretty recently, and Laughing Stock too. Like I think those have become some of maybe my favorite albums ever. Um,
Oh,
so they're good stuff.
yeah.
Um, this song isn't actually particularly like that. Those
Oh,
albums. There's some elements that are like those albums, but um, you should listen to those albums.
maybe I
I've con-
will.
I've I've considered like maybe doing an episode where we like chart a band's transformation, and I think I would choose Talk Talk even over Radiohead because he'd listen to
Oh, that's
Radiohead.
a really good idea actually. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That's a good
Like
idea.
how a band just became completely, because they started out as a synth pop group.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, then I
Yes.
have
Next, we got Kate Bush with "This Woman's Work." It's a nice song, yeah, nice
yeah
emotive track by Kate Bush, who's always good. You know,
yeah
I still, anytime the record store gets Hounds of Love, I think somebody, maybe you, comes and buys it before I can get it. I don't know.
yeah. Buy all the copies of Hounds of Love in
That
Canada.
happened. The record store posts videos when they get new arrivals. There was Hounds of Love. As soon as I get there, it's gone. There was Melt Banana. As soon as I get there, it's gone. You know, I can only have my conspiracy theories about this.
Yeah. Well, I I I I guess you could say I travel a lot
I mean,
to
we're
your town in
separated.
particular.
We're separated by a lot of states and a border.
Yes,
You know, but
and my lack of passport.
Oh, you don't have a passport?
No, not that. Maybe I do. I
Oh.
don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe you can like swim across the waters, maybe. I don't know. You might die, but
I've been on a when I went to a when I went to Niagara Falls, we went on a ferry and we went over to the Canadian side of the falls.
yes, down in
So
southern Ontario, where
yeah,
where
I
which
didn't even have
is
a I didn't even have a passport. I was living on the edge.
living on the edge. You're a hardcore illegal tourist.
Yeah, I'm an illegal alien in
Illegal
Canada,
alien. What are you doing?
illegal immigrant. So anyway,
Niagara Falls is pretty sweet on the Canada side, though.
I didn't get to see it on the Canada side. I just went across in the body of water, so it was
Oh,
like I just I didn't get to see it from the Canada
you didn't
side.
even put feet on Canadian soil.
No, just on Canadian water.
Gotcha. That's pretty Canadian water, you know what they say. We got a lot of trees, got a lot of oxygen.
I guess.
I don't know. There's no trees in Nunavut. They literally have no trees up there. But
Yeah.
you know how it goes. Anyway, I what Earth, Wind, and Fire September.
You
10 out of
missed.
10.
What
10 out
about
of 10.
Luminescence?
I
Oh
don't
well,
remember
yeah.
that.
September is a great song,
I
but
don't
You
remember it.
didn't like Luminescence?
I don't remember it.
Okay, because I thought you would like that song.
I probably did, but I don't remember it off the
But yeah,
top of my head.
September is a great
It's
song.
a 10 out of 10 song.
I love that song.
I need to buy that Greatest Hits album immediately because it's so good.
So,
It's such a good track. Freaking love it. Freaking love stuff like that. And then we had Can Spray or Spray Can, which was one of the jams, I guess, from them.
yeah, I wanted to include like there's a track called that's like mind blowing,
Oh,
but you know it's 17 minutes long. I gave you
yeah.
like 77 songs to listen to. I figured I would go easy on you and just put a 9-minute song.
Yeah, and it was, it was not,
9 minutes.
it was interesting. And then, you had another Brazilian tune that was good. What's her name again?
Taiko Nuki.
Yeah, did she even sing? Was there even vocals on this track? I don't remember.
There was, yeah, but
Oh,
you probably remember that orchestral intro.
yeah, that's right. I don't, that got kind of confused, and then the SSQ song came on, and I was like, "This is great."
Yeah,
The Anonymous. That was a really good one.
it is a good track.
Really
Also,
good.
that Raji track that you missed probably because you don't remember
Yeah. The Ministry song was all right.
it.
That one, Revenge. Again, Yellow Magic Orchestra, really good.
Prefab.
Prefab. That was such an easy word.
Prefab Sprout.
Desire
Design.
as
Yeah.
is good. And then Purple Rain.
Obviously, a
it's
great song.
It's Purple Rain. You really don't have to. The best part of that song is when it comes back and like that part.
I really like the like strings at the end.
Oh, that's cool too. But it's just one of those songs. It's just one of those songs. Period.
Yes, it
it's
is.
just one of those songs. Right?
Like September.
Yes. Well,
So,
the thing with Purple Rain is I didn't listen to Prince or anything, but when he died, I watched that movie, and
yeah,
it just really something was just like wow when the ending scene came on, and
yeah.
it was a song. It was just like holy shit,
That album is like perfect.
It's really
So,
good. It's really good stuff, definitely. And well, my favorite is "I Would Die for You." That's definitely my favorite from Prince.
mhm.
But last we have the this guy again. Well, I mentioned the song "Thousand Knives"
Yes.
with the panning.
By Ryuichi Sakamoto.
I think it was kind of silly that you didn't end your playlist of Purple Rain, but yeah, no, what are you gonna do?
Well, I felt like I needed like something to lighten it up again.
Got you. So like it has the big finale, and then it just kind of is
Yeah.
like the kind of like the nice little okay, get going, everyone.
Of course, it's 9 minutes long.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's 9 minutes long, but what are you gonna do? It was good. It was a good track.
lots
Overall,
of 9-minute tracks.
yeah. Overall, you had a lot of stuff in your playlist, but there's a lot of stuff to check out. A
Yeah,
lot of cool things going on. A lot of
I
dynamics.
obviously recommend all of it
Oh, really? Do you?
because I put it on the playlist.
Oh, naturally. But you know, that's wild. You know, another playlist swap has gone down. I almost didn't make it, but I did make it, so it's all right. That's all that
So
matters.
I was wanting to listen to more 2017 stuff before doing this episode, but I'm just missed the boat on that.
We gotta make it for the 12 days of Christmas.
Hmm.
That's how it goes. But I guess that's all we have to say for this 3-hour episode.
Yeah, it's still snowing, so I think I'm gonna go outside.
What are you gonna do outside?
I don't know. Maybe get on my computer. Just kidding.
You're gonna do snow angels?
I just walk around.
Well,
Just to see.
I guess, have you ever experienced snowfall like that?
Not as this is probably the most snowfall we've gotten in like decades.
Holy shit! Then you have no idea.
I've been in deep
Ah,
snow, but
yeah.
not here.
Not in your home. Yeah.
No.
Well,
So-
well, I mean, it's weird. 'Cause Canadians like to act like we're the only people in the world who get snow. You know, that's kind of like the way it is. Like, yeah, you guys don't even know. Meanwhile, you know, there's Minnesota and Colorado and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
but that's just how it goes. Oh yeah, and you know, there's also like Russia and Finland, but whatever,
Yeah. Other countries.
and Norway, but you know, and well,
Yeah.
Iceland and Greenland.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. That's the end of this episode. Tune in for another day of 12 days action. If you listen to this entire episode, I don't even know what to say. Maybe I'll make a song dedicated to you on the next album by Barry Goldman.bandcamp.com. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll have to see. Do you have any
Reach out.
parting shots?
I would just say
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Tune in next time.